for the follow, Bake Man.
Bound only by frozen memories. Lost in time. Racing on these broken dreams tonight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Fan Report.
Report?
Again? Report? Where it's by fans.
For fans.
As always. Again, welcome again tonight. As you can see, we got a special guest over here, our boy Alex. You saw him from our second show. He's back once again with us here tonight.
Show.
Yep, our Super Bowl recap show.
I plan to go hard in the paint with the
He's,
playoffs and get this man riled up a little bit.
And I'm Nick. That's Andrew, as he just said. Topics
This is going
up
to be
on this up on this side here.
Show.
We might actually have a little bit of a longer show for you guys because we're talking some NBA topics, and we got 3 hardcore NBA fans up in this bitch tonight. So
Up in this
bitch tonight. So we're gonna have a good time. Hope you guys have a good time out there with us. So as always, if you like what you see tonight, please feel free to hit the follow button down below. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter at RealFanReport there. And suggest any topics or just hit us up or whatever. You know, we also now have a Facebook page. You can find us. Our link to that is also at Real Fan Report. You can find us there also. So please hit the like button on that shit too. Keep up to date with us. You know, just hang out with us, whatever. Get a little bit more personal probably on Facebook than you would on Twitter sometimes too. So, but
Let's get rolling.
I guess we can just get rolling. May as well. So here we go.
Hey, who likes hockey?
I do.
Who likes playoff hockey?
I do. Playoff hockey's fucking amazing. That's straight up. Okay, there is no sport tougher than hockey. The guys in hockey are the tough. Like, there's literally toughness in sports, and then there's hockey tough. That's literally like this. Like, there's hockey tough is so much higher than everybody else. And playoff hockey, in my opinion,
so much higher than football tough.
Yes, fuck yes.
So I don't think
how many football players broke a leg and played the rest of the game?
They're not skating.
How many?
They don't have the benefit
what
of
the
gliding.
fuck? That's so much more weight. Are you shitting me? Putting all that weight on one little blade.
You can glide on one leg.
No, you really can't. Not at hockey. Not at professional levels. No, you can't.
You want to come up with no legs, Andrew?
Yeah.
I never played hockey.
I'm sorry, but hockey tough. There's guys who have died on the ice and continued to play. Okay? How many players have had their hearts stop on the field in football?
Wait,
that doctor should be fired.
Do we have a Weekend at Bernie situation going on here? Like,
no, his heart stopped on the ice. He went to the locker room. They revived him on the ice, went to the locker room, and came back out.
Yeah, someone should definitely be fired.
Why would he come back out?
His decision.
It's not his
and
decision.
there's players who literally have... There was a player who's playing right now in the playoffs for the San Jose Sharks right now. I believe his name is Kotar or something like that. Something like that. Who this guy took a slap shot puck to the face. Literally blew out his mouth. His teeth and his jaw is held together by string. He's playing. He literally comes off the ice to go to the bench to have his jaw rewired.
Jesus.
And then goes back out there. How many football players have done that, my friend?
I don't know.
None.
I feel like football players are more protected with the face mask and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Anyways, so, and some of the most brutal hits I've ever seen are in hockey.
I've never seen so much animosity towards football.
No, I'm not saying football.
I've never seen this come out of you.
I'm not saying football players don't play tough. I'm just saying hockey toughness is such a different level from any other sport. Such a different level. It's just unreal. Like these, like especially goalies, they're literally a different breed of person. They're
nutcases.
They are absolute nutcases. You're entirely correct. But anyways, the NHL playoffs are insanely exciting compared to regular season, and insanely exciting in my opinion compared to any other sports playoffs because the game's level just hits a totally different like aspect. Just hits something completely different level of play. It is literally, like I've said before, yes I did. Literally, it is hockey on steroids. It's hockey on crack.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to watch, even for fringe hockey fans or not even hockey fans. It's awesome to watch because it's constant excitement. And not to mention, hockey is the one true sport that you can honestly say that doesn't matter what seed you are, you got a shot to win the Stanley Cup. You got a shot to win the championship. You can't really say that about football because the wild card has only won a handful of Super Bowls. They've only won, I think, 4 or 5.
I disagree with you for this reason. Football is a one-off for the playoffs. Any team can go in one game.
If that was true, then why have wild cards only won like five Super Bowls in over 50 years? More than that number of 8 seeds have won Stanley Cups.
I mean, you had the Giants or wild card. That's the most recent one.
Okay, yes, that's what in 2000 and
they beat the undefeated Patriots.
2009, something like that. That was a while ago.
It was 08.
Oh wait, exactly. And before that, you really didn't see it any other time either. It's not common for a team that's a wild card to win the Super Bowl. It's very, very rare. Very rare.
How common is it in Stanley Cup?
It's a lot more common in the Stanley Cup for an 7 or 8 seed to at least go to the Stanley Cup or compete and have a shot. It's a lot more common, and it's a lot more... I mean, the Kings did it, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
You're using 2 different criteria. Now you're saying for Stanley Cup, it's compete or have a shot. How many wild cards have we seen in football compete or have a shot at the Super Bowl?
And actually play in the Super Bowl? Probably not many. I can bet you maybe 7, 8, 9 maybe. Nowhere near as many as the Stanley Cup. The Kings won the Stanley Cup 2 or 3 years ago.
By the way,
as the 8th seed. 4 or 5 years ago,
did beat the Bruins 1-0.
No, they're still playing.
No,
they just ended. But anyways, going on here.
I guess we start with that. Ottawa takes a 3-1 series lead.
Yeah, we'll start with it. We'll start with the Ottawa series. Good start. Okay, so we saw Ottawa win tonight. They take a 3-1 series lead over the Bruins. Now the Bruins this was a series that I had really a tough choice on this one. I believe I chose Ottawa. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's just hindsight speaking 2020 for me. But that was a really tough series for me to choose because I thought both teams are really evenly matched. I thought the Bruins are that solid defensive team. I mean, it's hard to find a better defender than Zdeno Chara. I mean, he's a monster. But granted, he's not what he used to be. He's not he's not as agile as he used to be. So it's not the same. But Ottawa's taking a pretty commanding lead in that series. 3-1 is very hard to come back from, no matter what sport, what team, or whatever it is. And there's 2 teams that you can say have an even harder team, and that's 2 of the favorites going into the Stanley Cup Finals for the Stanley Cup playoffs. There are 3 teams that were favorited. The top 3 favorited teams, according to Vegas, going into this were the Chicago Blackhawks, the Washington Capitals, and the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
2 of these teams are on the verge of elimination, down 3-0. The Blackhawks are getting absolutely outplayed by the Nashville Predators, who are being led by their netminder in Rennie.
The scoring is surprising.
The scoring is surprising, but in 100%, Nashville is playing off of their goaltender. Rennie is playing out of his damn mind against a dangerous team like the Blackhawks. And people are saying don't count them out just because they lost the first 2. Oh no, down 3-0, you're pretty much dead in the water at that point. I don't care who you are. 3-0, you're dead in the water.
Oh yeah.
That is so tough to come back from, to the point where it's literally been done like once or twice in the history of sports.
Baseball once, and I can't think of it every time.
I can't think so. It's been done in baseball. I'm pretty sure it's been done in hockey once.
It's done in hockey a few more times than once.
I don't think so. It's so rare. It's ridiculous. But the Wild's another one. The Blues are not a better team than the Wild coming into these playoffs, but they're playing out of their minds.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of showing with this series because the Wild just don't seem to be stepping up here. The Blues are really stepping up, taking control of the series, and playing their brand of hockey, and that's what's really shown a lot for the Blues there. The Anaheim Ducks, no surprise here, got a massive lead over the Calgary Flames. We've got 3 series coming out of the Western Conference with a 3-0 lead. Obviously, the Preds and the Blues have the 3-0 lead over their respective opponents, but you also have the Anaheim Ducks taking that. What the hell was that?
Shit?
We got a ghost.
Apparently, but you also have the Anaheim Ducks taking a commanding lead over the Calgary Flames. Not that unexpected as much as the other 2 were, but again, though, dominance by the Ducks. The series that I'm really, really liking to watch over in the Western Conference, though, is Edmonton and San Jose. Obviously, I mentioned about the player playing with his jaw wired shut before. That series, tied at 2 games apiece, has been exciting in all levels. Both teams taking turns, exchanging punches with each other, and going back and forth with each other. It's been physical. It's been fast, quick hockey. It's been a very good brand of hockey watching these 2 teams play, especially the Oilers, because I believe this is the first time they've even made the playoffs in like 13 years or something like that. Some stupid number versus, obviously coming from the city we're in, first time we've missed the playoffs in 25.
Yeah.
So imagine how starved that Canadian city is for playoff hockey. So that arena's going nuts when they're at home.
Well, one wild card upset that might happen that none of us are surprised by is the Maple Leafs and the Capitals.
None of us are surprised by? You were talking the number 1 favorite going into the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, but remember we discussed this. We said the Capitals...
None of us are surprised by.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying the Washington Capitals were the number 1 favorite going into according to Vegas. Literally everyone was betting on the Capitals in this series because the Maple Leafs have been the dog shit of the NHL for the last 10 years now. They've been garbage.
Did I think they were going to be ousted in the first round? I still don't think they're going to be ousted in the first round. But
it's coming. It's interesting, and I kind of agree with you. I think the Capitals do take the series eventually.
They will.
However, it's not going to be easy, and you could see the series going 7 games. Obviously, starting at 2-2, you're guaranteed 6. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 7th.
Yeah.
Just because Mike Babcock has done something special with those. Babcock has done something extremely special with those young players in Toronto, and surprisingly, it's not by the lead of Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews has kind of been pretty quiet in this series. It's by their other young talent, their other leaders, their young leaders on that team that's really stepped up and played above their capabilities to take it to the Capitals and really put something forward there. They've really been a big surprise for me. I expected the Capitals to win the series in 5-6. To see that the Maple Leafs are competing the way they are is actually kind of a big surprise to me, just because of how heavily favorited the Capitals were going into that series.
Yeah.
So that one is another one I'm really watching closely because it's such good hockey to watch. Mm-hmm. You're watching one of the best teams in hockey in the Washington Capitals with so much talent in Ovechkin and so much other talent outside of Ovechkin on that team that it's just been so good to watch. And seeing those 2 teams go at it, it's just a really good series. Down below in that
just an update
area.
Before we start. There's been 4 3-0 comebacks in hockey.
4.
1 in baseball.
Okay,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
okay.
It.
So, but hockey's playoffs have been around since
you can't mess up in hockey.
1900s. Granted, baseball's been around since the 1800s. So say that there's one in that, but moving on down in the other region, in the other games going on in this region here is the Penguins and the Blue Jackets, and really, in my opinion, no surprise to me.
No surprise.
The Penguins really taking it 2 to the Blue Jackets, taking a commanding 3-1 lead, showing that they're the better team. And this was the Penguins were my pick, which means that my pick is a pick that I'm choosing to repeat, which is something so hard to do in hockey that I don't think has been done since 1997-98 with the 96-97, 97-98 Red Wings. I don't think it's been done in hockey to repeat since. So to see that's me picking that team, I'm picking against the odds there. So I really I still really like the Penguins in this. I think that they're going to take care of business in the series, probably close it out in the next game, move on, and I bet you they win the next series too. Regardless of who they face, the Caps or the Maple Leafs, the Caps seem to always hit a brick wall when it comes to the Penguins, and the Maple Leafs I just don't think have enough talent.
Yeah.
So give the Maple Leafs 1 to 2 more years. That team's a Stanley Cup contender. I think they're just, like I said, 1 to 2 years, a little too early. Big surprise there, but another series has been a huge surprise is the Canadiens-Rangers series. And
yes.
I have Canadians, we're going to take care of business in this one, but the Rangers have really stepped up. And they're a team that, again, was another organization that really struggled in recent times, not last year, the year before, but before that, they were a team that was struggling. The Canadians continuing their dominance in the regular season, but another team that just really flames out when it comes to the playoffs. And they're really showing, keeping that trend going with these playoffs. I mean, 2-2 series tie, another super close series. Who do you think comes out on top of that one?
He doesn't have an idea.
I'm going to go Montreal.
Montreal? Well, the thing is in this series is, well, who do you pick? Let's go to you first.
Yeah, I don't know much about hockey, but I got to go with that. Talent always comes through, especially in the early rounds, so I'll go Canadians.
The thing that is such a big matchup to watch in this one for me is the goalie matchups with Carey Price for the Montreal Canadiens and Henrik Lundqvist for the New York Rangers. Those two goalies right now, I thought going into this one, whoever had the better goalie play, the better play in between the pipes, was going to win the series. Well, the series is really showing that because they've literally been dead heat deadlocked.
Yeah.
Both netminders are playing out of their minds. Both netminders, you can't blame them for their losses, and you can totally give them the credit for their wins. Because if that doesn't tell a story of this series being tied at 2-2, then I don't know what does. Because, again, going into this, I really thought the netminders were going to be the difference in this one, and they've shown that they are the reason that this series is as close as it is because they've both been playing neck and neck with each other. So excited to see what continues on in that series. So let's go through and let's just take our quick picks real quick to finish out this round, and then we'll just go on to the NBA playoffs. Obviously not much else to talk about there. So let's start with the Blackhawks series. Preds, Blackhawks, who you got? Preds. I got Preds. All right. Let's move on down to the next game in that region. We got the Minnesota Wild down three games to none. So the St. Louis Blues. Who you got there?
Blues.
I'm going Blues myself. As my boy mentioned,
I wanted to go on a whim, but just
only happened 4 times in Stanley Cup playoff history, and it ain't gonna happen this year for either of those two teams. So 2 favorited teams out in the first round. Unbelievable.
Definitely Anaheim for this one.
Definitely Anaheim here also.
Anaheim.
And then I'm going to go with Edmonton in this one. Granted, San Jose may have a little bit of the momentum in this one with their, with the recent play from some, the heroic play from some of their guys. I believe, hold on, give me a minute. Yeah, San Jose took care of business in the last game, winning 7-0 against Edmonton. Obviously, they've got the momentum there, but I think Edmonton could come around. I think a game going into Edmonton
does have the home field,
they have home ice. Granted, home ice is a little bit overrated when it comes to hockey, unless you're the Red Wings. However, when an arena
look at the Canadian series. It's been irrelevant.
Exactly. When it comes to hockey, home ice isn't that important. However, unless you're the Red Wings. However, as I mentioned before, Edmonton is a city that is starved for championship hockey. And so that place is going to go nuts. And that's why I'm thinking I'm going to take the Edmonton Oilers in this one. It's going to be a huge difference maker for them.
I'm going to go San Jose, Alex.
I'll go Edmonton. I like home cooking.
Home cooking. All right, let's move on over to the Eastern Conference here. So just recap of the Western. We got the Preds, Blues, Ducks, and then we got two. We split on the Oilers, Sharks. 2 of us have the Oilers. He's got the Sharks. So let's move on over. Canadians for me going in this series. I think they pull it out.
I think I already said Canadians.
Yep. So then we go over here. I take the Sens here. The Senators definitely, I think, control this one.
Yeah.
They've already shown it. I got to take Capitals in this
taking
one. I think
Capitals.
the talent,
Capitals, too.
I think the young talent just doesn't have the experience to really take care of business in
And
the series.
Pittsburgh, too.
And I got Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
in that one. So
Now, last
That
thing, I
ends-
just want to point this out.
Yeah.
You were saying when we started this topic off how the Stanley Cup playoffs are played closer than any other playoffs. It's more
Yes.
competitive, it's more evenly
Yes.
matched, and it's more exciting. And I don't know if you noticed, but it was your words rang true to me on Monday when all 4 NHL games and like all 4 playoff games went to overtime for the NHL.
yes,
playoffs.
that's exactly what I was saying though.
Which just goes to show how evenly matched.
All these teams are,
All
but
these teams
even
are.
then though,
That
even
all
more so,
4 games went to overtime.
all 4 games went to overtime.
Yeah.
All 4 games, and not to mention though, look at the series that are happening over in the Western Conference and in that top region over there. The bottom seeds in that region are commanding over the 1 and 2 seeds over there. That if that doesn't tell you how closely these teams are playing, I don't know what else does. Because that's literally, I mean, taking a page out of the Red Wings announcers books, but that's puck luck right there. The puck is rolling their ways more than it is the other teams. They're getting the right bounces. But you know what that also is? That's toughness.
Yeah.
That's determination. That's motor. That's just outside of that's just pure toughness and determination, having those lower seed teams beating the top favorite teams like that. And that just goes to show how close the NHL is when it comes to their top tier talent.
Yeah.
It just really goes to show, and why I say it doesn't matter if you're an 8 seed or a 1 seed, everybody's got a shot in the NHL Stanley Cups, which is something you really don't see in any other sport. You don't see it really too much in baseball because baseball, the top teams tend to dominate. Football, same deal. And then basketball, there's literally 2 teams who even have a shot of winning the NBA championship. So does 3, sure, whatever. Throw the Spurs in, fine. But when it comes to the NHL, all 16 of these teams can win the Stanley Cup this year. All 16 of these teams got a shot.
Blues don't got a shot, man.
The Blues? You don't think so? They're beating the number 3 favorite team going into this 3-0.
I know. I don't like them.
They continue playing that way. If they continue to play that way, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, the Blue Jackets don't have a shot.
Okay, yes, they're down 3-1. But say they come back in that series, they're beating the returning champs. Then
It's just a high
anything can happen in the NHL playoffs. Crazier shit's happened before.
Yeah.
Do you believe in miracles, my friend?
Do you believe in miracles?
All right, so
Anyway.
that ends it for our NHL talk for today. We're gonna move on to some NBA playoffs. Let's get it started and high. All right, so moving on here. You know what, let's just start with the Warriors series because that one's kind of the bygone conclusion. We talked about Damian Lillard saying hit Blazers in 6. Not gonna happen. None of us
definitely not
believe
looking
that.
like it.
all right. Well, there's been some rumors that KD might be sitting out.
I don't give
for
a
few
shit.
games. I mean, I agree.
Rest KD, rest Steph Curry.
Hey,
Warriors
let me
still win
finish.
in 5.
I still agree. The Warriors will win in 5 or 6. I don't.
Rest Steph Curry, rest KD. Warriors still win in 5.
I don't think so. If you rest 2
Sorry.
superstars,
Nope. Don't
you're-
even care. The Warriors are so
You're
head and shoulders above when it comes to every position on the floor
think you're really
than
underrating
anyone
the
else.
Blazers.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not because they're the absolute. I'm not
They
underrating
can
the Blazers.
live without one of
I
their
am-
superstars. I think
I
if
say
you
they
take
can
out
live
their
without
top
2.
2,
Yeah.
I
they're
say
going to
live without
struggle.
2.
They're going to
And I
get
say Steph Curry's not even one of their top 2. Draymond Green, I'd say, is arguably more important to that team right now than Steph Curry
right
is.
now.
Yes.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay,
so, just because of the
there's my
defensive
argument.
presence.
You take out the guy who really isn't your true point guard because Draymond probably runs the point more than he does anyways. Plus, Klay Thompson plays a little bit of the point. Plus, KD controls the
You're
ball.
losing 60 points a night, essentially, with losing Steph Curry and...
No, not so much. You're probably losing 50.
Because Draymond's not
Steph
the best
Curry,
shooter.
remember, is only averaging 24 points a game right now.
Okay, all right, you know...
And
little
KD's
under 60,
averaging
but-
what, 26? So you're not
like-
barely hitting 50 points at that point.
You're hitting 50.
Not 60. But that doesn't say that Andre Iguodala couldn't pick up the slack in scoring because he's done it before. He did it last year and he did it the year before. That doesn't mean to
I
say
don't
that
wanna
Sean
lie.
Livingston can't pick up the scoring because, again, Sean Livingston carried that team through the playoffs in certain rounds last year.
I still think
So-
the Warriors will win, but it would be in 7 games.
5 or 6. You take out KD.
But this is
If
hypothetical
KD
stuff.
personally, I
This
think
is hypothetical stuff.
Personally,
Without
I think
KD,
they
we
should.
both agree
I
they're
think they
winning.
should rest KD.
Oh, they should,
because
absolutely.
that calf is
They
giving
can
him
still
problems
win.
in the past.
And they need it
Alex
for
is
better
finally
rounds.
awoken. Woken.
He's a Woken.
This is my topic, guys.
But KD, rest the guy. That calf has caused problems for him in the past.
Save it for the better rounds.
Save him for the more important rounds because without KD, you're still the best team in the NBA. You're still winning the series in 5 or 6 games.
We agree on that.
We all agree. I don't know why anybody's arguing right now. So,
moving on to the Clippers Jazz series. Man, has the series got interesting. And a lot more interesting than I thought because I thought the Jazz were actually going to take care of business with the Clippers because I didn't think the Clippers. I didn't think Lob City had the playoff talent because you know what? They flame out every year.
They flame out.
Can we all articulate opinions without just
no?
The Clippers have the better talent, especially. Okay, go Andrew. Go.
I liked the Jazz in this series up until Rudy Gobert got hurt.
Very true. That was a big difference maker because that's a guy who can contain DeAndre Jordan. Granted, DeAndre Jordan's got the size on him, but Gobert's got that fucking giant, those literally Golden Eagle hawk arms, or Golden Eagle arm span. He's got like a 7'6", 7'7" wingspan. Without that, they're clogging up the lane.
So I don't see them. Pulling
that's a tough matchup down low when you've got really not your best defensive player trying to guard a guy like DeAndre Jordan down low, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that man's just going to dunk all over you all day.
Yeah.
So that is a big difference maker in the series. There's no doubt. I really did like the Jazz. It is a game changer. There's no doubt about it because not only is he he's probably your best shot blocker, he's probably your best defender down low, he's also your best rebounder. You lose three extremely important aspects of your game, of your team's game in the playoffs, and especially in playoff basketball, you're losing that much. That's hard to come back from. Yeah. You were right. I did like, and I completely forgot about Gobert, but I did like the Jazz going into the series. I thought they would take care of business, even win maybe in 5 or 6. Because I don't have any confidence whatsoever in the Clippers when it comes to playoff basketball. But now, I'm not so confident. They still got good shooters in Hood and Hayward, but that's it.
Yeah.
Clippers got rebounding now. DeAndre Jordan's the best rebounder in basketball.
Yeah.
They've still got Chris Paul, and they've still got Blake Griffin. Oh, and not to mention Jamal Crawford, probably the best sixth man in basketball the last 5 years coming off the bench in Jamal Crawford. So,
not to mention the truth coming off the bench.
Yeah, you need him for the last minute situation. Yeah.
So, I may change my tune a little bit here and take Clippers. I think it'll go 6 or 7, but
Rudy Gobert was healthy,
is Gobert confirmed to be out for the series?
No. He's still questionable for each game, I believe.
Okay.
I think even if the Jazz were healthy, I would still take the Clippers in 6 or 7.
If Gobert is healthy, I'd take the Jazz because I don't think
the Clippers in 6 or 7.
I don't know that I can take the Clippers.
The Clippers usually get out of the first round. They just flame out after that.
I'm taking without Gobert. I'm taking the Clippers. I can't really say a length of time without Gobert.
If it's a healthy Gobert, soon. I'd take the Jazz. I'm talking next game.
I think it's over.
Let's say Gobert misses this game and plays game 4. All right, I will take the Clippers in 6.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about bringing Gobert back and a chance to tie that series up at 2-2. Because you're at the Jazz Arena.
Yeah.
You're down 2-1 because you're probably going to lose Game 3 without Gobert.
Yeah.
You're down 2-1 at that point. You're still in Utah. You're getting Gobert back Game 4. You're taking the Clippers to take
2-2.
both in Utah.
So you take 2-2 and then you go back to LA. You can usually say LA wins at home to make it 3-2.
Is it a 2-3-2 series or 2-2-1-1-1?
No, it's a 2-3-2. No, sorry, 2-2-1-1-1. Sorry,
okay.
2-3-2 is.
See, then I think that the Jazz take that Game 6. I think the series goes to 7 if Gobert comes back in Game 4. And is effective. He's got to be effective.
You think Jazz take Game 6 in LA? That's where it would be.
Game 6 would not be in LA. Game 6 would be at home. They're the lower seed. Game 6 would be at home. So, yes, I am saying the Jazz take Game 6. I think Clippers take Game 5, Jazz takes Game 6, and it goes to 7. I think that's a total crapshoot at that point.
And that's if Gobert
comes back and is effective. If he's effective. He's got to be effective. If he's not, and if he's playing at 70, 80%, that's not good enough for me. Because the series is too tightly matched, and DeAndre Jordan is too big of an X factor in this.
I already said it. I said if he was healthy the whole series, the Clippers would still win it.
We're assuming he comes back Game 4. What would you say?
Clippers are winning it even more now. Their chances of winning it
even
just got
more
better.
If he comes back in Game 4?
No, not even more. But
if he doesn't come back at all,
if he misses one game, it's over. The Clippers.
I don't think it's over at all because going up 2-1's not that huge in a series when you've got that second half of the back-to-back at home. If you're down 2-1 and you got Game 4 at home, that is a big difference maker for you.
The Clippers have more talent down low, and they're going to use it. one of the best coaches and playoff experience.
I would say
valuable.
that I don't really know the Clippers have more talent down low than Gobert because you're really undervaluing Gobert. You are seriously undervaluing Gobert down low.
He's good, but
he is an elite shot blocker, an elite rebounder, and oh, by the way, the man can score a little bit too.
Yeah. But I don't think it would change the series. That's just my
I absolutely think it's a huge change in the series. You even said it yourself. That's a big game changer.
It's a big changer now that he's gone. But even if he was, it would just go to 7 games. I think now it's just it'll go to 6.
Going to 7 games. You're talking about a crapshoot at that point. Saying someone wins in 7,
but
literally saying someone wins in 7 is flipping a fucking coin.
I'm going with the home team.
All right, so we're all saying Clippers in 6 or 7 is what we're all saying.
At this point, yes.
Yeah.
So Spurs, Memphis.
This series is over.
The series is over. There's no. I mean,
this is just talent versus.
Fizdale came out with, in my opinion, the greatest rant I have ever heard.
Which he got fined $30,000.
They ain't gonna rook us. That is my favorite line and probably my favorite term now. They ain't gonna rook us. That's awesome. That is a fantastic take. And straight up, I may clip that and put it in our show. It may be a drop in the show in this future, but. And then take that for data. This man was all over the place with
drops the mic
all over the place.
Do you agree with what he said? Do you
Absolutely.
Do you agree the refs are biased in this series?
Yes, absolutely. Because you know what I think they want is a Warriors Spurs finals matchup again.
No one wants to see Memphis move on.
I agree.
Exactly.
I agree, but
I'm sorry, but this is one of the reasons why people think the NBA has fixing problems because you have situations where one player is shooting more free throws than an entire team. Yeah, that's a little bit overly biased.
I think it's a little bit biased because obviously the other part is Kawhi Leonard is so good at drawing fouls.
And Mike Conley's not, and Marc Gasol are not.
Who's guarding Kawhi Leonard right now in the series? Who's for Memphis?
Probably
Tony Allen, maybe?
No,
he's not?
No.
Who?
Kenneth Faried? He's on Denver. What the fuck am I talking about?
I'll tell you don't know exactly. Not a good defender. Regardless, there is a discrepancy.
There is a massive discrepancy there. One player is taking more free throws than an entire team. That shouldn't happen, especially when you have playmakers who get fouled on the other side of the ball.
I don't think it changes the series regardless, though.
I don't think so either. I think the Spurs still dominate the series. I don't think it's close. I think they win in 4 at worst 5.
Yeah, I agree.
At worst 5.
Not one of my favorite series.
Everyone's favorite series at this point.
Score now.
Everyone's favorite series at this point.
All right.
Score update.
The Rockets took care of business in Game 1.
So the Oklahoma City was up.
They were tied at 104.
And now they are going to lose.
They're going to lose. They're down 10. Wow, what a comeback by the Rockets.
OKC's 104.
I just checked 2 minutes ago and they were tied at 104.
Yeah, they were.
I really liked the series going into it, but it's really kind of showing who's got the better all-around team.
So what's the score of the series?
It'd be 2-0 in favor of Houston.
Why isn't there still the scores?
Which, granted, that's 2 games at home for Houston.
Yeah.
You've still got to turn back around and go to OKC.
Houston's definitely more complete team than OKC.
Without a doubt. You are showing that is the major difference. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I got to give it to Westbrook. He's a better player than Harden. Mm-hmm. There's no question in my mind. He does everything that you could ask for. Oh, and by the way, he plays a hell of a lot more defense than James Harden. Granted, that's not saying much.
I just wanted to throw out some Westbrook stats today.
Okay.
For points, 47 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds, but he shot 16 for 40.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. The guy put up, that literally goes to show he's the only player on his team. He's the only player on his team.
He has to.
If that doesn't tell you what the difference maker in this series is, I don't know what does. Because that just goes to show that the Rockets are so much more all around a better team. I'm sorry, but
they're a 3-point shooting team and they can go off at any time.
Exactly. Not just a 3-point shooting team, but Clint Capella can dominate Steven Adams down low.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Gordon, again.
That's been a big part of the series. The big men for Oklahoma City are non-existent.
Right.
Where's Steven Adams? Where's Taj Gibson? They're getting beat.
Not to mention, you literally have quotes. You literally have the coach for OKC screaming on the sideline, can't play Enes Kanter. Can't play him because he can't guard the pick and roll. If you have your coach saying that, you know you're in trouble.
He wasn't quite screaming it. He just turned to the guy and said, "We can't."
You still heard it on TV?
You didn't hear it. You saw him mouth it.
Sorry, whatever. Good enough for me.
What brings up the problem is like when Westbrook is getting the leading rebounding on your team and he's not your big man.
He kind of fluffs his rebounds a little bit and steals easy boards away from his big men. But still.
Anyway, Steven Adams has disappeared since the second half of the season.
All of their big men have disappeared for the second half of the season.
I don't see it as much as Westbrook can do for them, I don't see it with.
It's not. Westbrook himself is not enough.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they take a game at home.
That's what I'm saying. As much as he could
one,
do for
maybe
them,
two.
I don't see it being
maybe two.
I don't see it being enough to pull out a series win.
No. It's. I'm sorry, but the Rockets all around are just the better team. They have talent outside of Harden. They have, again, Clint Capella. They have Eric Gordon, again, one of the better 6 men coming off the bench. Who, by the way, Lou Williams has been great for him. Not to mention, Ariz has been pretty solid for him. Not to mention, there's other players on that team who have contributed. Whereas the Thunder, nobody's contributed but Russell Westbrook. And that really goes to show who has the better all-around team. The OKC Thunder are literally Russell Westbrook and a bunch of garbage.
It doesn't help when your player brought in Victor Oladipo shoots 1 for 12 in the first game. Oh, let me see what he shot today.
That is supposed to be your X Factor shooter, who we thought was going to be an X Factor in the series. If he performed well, you don't have anyone to guard him because Harden can't guard him. But he's not shooting well. And if he was performing well, that'd be a big difference maker. But it's not happening.
So for this
and he
series,
shot 4 for 14 today. So
again,
for this series, I really want this game. I want the series to go 7.
I would love to see the series go 7. I'm sorry, but I'm taking the Rockets in 5 or 6.
I'm taking them in 5.
I'm taking them in 5 or 6. I don't think the Thunder have enough to compete in a playoff environment.
They have
they just have Brody. That's it. Nobody else.
Anyway, moving on to the Eastern Conference.
Moving on to the East, we've got. Let's start with the top series. Oh, you want to start at the bottom? Okay, let's start at the bottom series. The 3-6 match with the Raptors and Bucks. I am loving this series. Loving it so much. Which, can I get an update on that game?
It's not happening.
It's Thursday, 8 p.m. Yes, it is.
Today is not Thursday.
Oh, tomorrow was Thursday. God damn, I want it to be Friday already.
It's Thursday. Yes, it is.
A little too excited.
A little too excited. All right, but I'm loving this series, and it really goes to show.
Do you guys see the East lottery teams, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, wait till the Pistons go.
Like the lowest lottery.
No, we're not. The lottery didn't happen.
Well, they
I know.
had some picks, didn't they?
What?
The Knicks got like 7th.
No, they didn't happen.
They were
It
tied.
didn't happen
No,
yet.
no. The Knicks.
You're saying the seed that we have right now, we're 12th.
Yeah. No. Because the Knicks and some other team had a tied record, so they did like a tiebreaker. Or
Yeah,
something.
but anyways,
the Knicks lost, whatever.
anyways, this series is really showing me how dominant of a player Antetokounmpo is. Because the man is playing out of his mind. He's really taking control of things and playing, oh, by the way, every single fucking position on the floor. No other player can do that but him.
Can you imagine if they actually still had Jabari right now?
I don't even think the series would be close. I really don't. Because Jabari Parker would be a total matchup problem for a team like Toronto.
Yeah.
Serge Ibaka could not guard the athletic-ass Jabari Parker at the 4. I'm sorry, he couldn't.
PJ Tucker would probably take him.
Okay, and he'd be fucked because the size matchup would be the body. PJ Tucker
difference.
is nowhere near athletic enough to guard Jabari Parker. That'd be such a mismatch problem.
Jabari Parker isn't the most athletic guy.
He's pretty damn athletic.
I think if Jabari Parker was here, the series would be. It'd be a toss up for me. I couldn't decide.
It's already a toss up.
I think Toronto's going to take it.
I don't. I think Milwaukee takes the series. That's one team I said had a absolute chance to make it out of the first round. One underdog team, I think, had a huge chance.
So what's the series score for that one, guys?
1-1.
1-1. I think Toronto's going to take the next 2.
You're talking that the home team has already lost, which I don't know that Milwaukee loses at home.
I think Kyle Lowry found his groove back, and he's a big difference maker.
I really don't know that Milwaukee loses at home to Toronto. If Milwaukee takes care of business at home, which I really do think they will, 3-1 series, no chance for Toronto. No chance.
If it's a 3-1, but I don't see that happening. Toronto will take 1 at least.
I'm not overly confident about this. Don't get me wrong, because I do think I agree with you. I'm not overly confident. I do think Toronto is the better team.
I agree with you.
However, when you got a guy like Antetokounmpo who is a goddamn matchup nightmare everywhere on the floor, no matter what position he's playing, that's trouble for a team, because you have to double team a guy like that, and he's a good passer and able to spread the ball around, which means he's going to find his shooters. Middleton will be open a lot in this series, and if Middleton hits his shots like we know he can do, he shot well during the regular season outside of a week when he came back, you're talking trouble for Toronto. And oh, by the way, you have Serge Ibaka guarding Antetokounmpo in most cases, which, holy fuck, I'd literally have dollar signs in my eyes if I was Antetokounmpo.
And here's a big negative for Toronto is, I don't know if you remember around the All-Star break we talked about them being one of the big winners of the trade deadline.
Yes.
Because of all the pieces they brought in. They brought a lot of great pieces, but at the same time, they lost
PJ Tucker and Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, they lost Kyle Lowry around then. So now this is the first time they have that whole team playing together.
Which they may not be hitting a groove.
That's what I'm saying. They need a time to figure out how to play together. And the playoffs have the time to figure that out.
Absolutely not.
That might hurt them.
I agree with you, and that's what we talked about going into the pre-playoff talk that we had on the show was how effective is the team going to be when you introduce Kyle Lowry back into the lineup? Because you've hit a nice groove with the backup point guard that they had there, but is the addition of Kyle Lowry going to be positive or negative? Or is it just going to be stagnant? Because you would think bringing a guy like Kyle Lowry back would be positive. Granted, that's not always the case. Because he plays a different style of ball than their backup point guard does. He plays a much different style of ball. He commands the ball a lot more. So you're talking taking the ball away from Serge Ibaka inside, taking the ball away from Jonas Valanciunas inside, taking the ball away from guys who really do command their shots. DeMar DeRozan, DeMar Carroll, if he's still on the team, is he still with them? Yeah. You're taking the ball away from guys who have really hit a good stride, playing with a more pass-first point guard. Than what you see with Kyle Lowry, who is a big pick-and-roll guy, which, in my opinion, don't really have good pick-and-roll big men. Jonas Valanciunas is okay, but he's not athletic enough, in my opinion. So, it's a toss-up series. I do agree that it goes 6 or 7, probably 7. I lean a little bit towards the Bucks just because of the athleticism factor and the shooting factor. They have better shooting than Toronto.
You going Toronto?
I'm going Toronto.
So, let's go to
the...
6 or 7.
Okay.
So
let's go to the Cleveland-Indiana series. This one has been, again though, why is it that Cleveland can dominate a series but play their game so close?
I don't know.
They did it last year with Detroit, but they dominated Detroit. Yeah. They swept them. A sweep is dominant, and they're about to do it again. Same exact situation.
And the Pacers are borderline dysfunctional.
The Pacers are borderline dysfunctional because it doesn't help that Lance Stephenson's wild-ass emotions are all over the place right now.
And now Paul George is mad about not being the one to take the last shot.
Right, which I don't blame him. CJ Miles had no business taking that shot. I'm sorry, but if you got a guy like Paul George on your team, that's your superstar. He's got the ball in the last minute, in the last second. Nobody else should even have to be near the ball at that point, unless they're setting a pick for him. Paul George should have had that ball. CJ Miles never should have touched it. So,
regardless,
Cavs in 4 at worst 5.
Thunder 115-111. Russ put up 51 points.
God damn. But at worst, 5-game series, Cavs take it.
I feel so bad for Russ.
I do too. He needs to be on a good team.
Well, he's finally going to get MVP. Deserved.
Well deserved. Yes. Holy shit, yes. I don't even think there's a question at this point. Literally, there was a Facebook poll up today where it was between LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, and Kawhi, and you put like the different reaction emojis to it, and it was literally the emoji for Russell Westbrook had 1,000 more votes than any other player. Nobody even broke 500 but Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook had 1,500. Yeah. So that series 4 or 5, Cleveland's got it.
Easy.
Moving on to the Wizards-Hawks series, which, again, Washington is a team I really liked going into this. A team that I really thought, yes, I love Washington. Really? I love them. They added a lot at the deadline. They're a team that I really thought could make a lot of noise in this series, and I think even more so now. I think that team could go to the Eastern Conference Finals because we've seen the issues with the Bulls and the Celtics. So the Wizards are a team to look out for here. No surprise in my book, but little bit that they're going to even probably go further than I would have expected. Yeah. So I think they take this one. They're going to take this one 5 games. 5 games. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Hawks have anything to match up. Speaking of which, what's the score of that game? Did the Wiz win tonight? That is a Wednesday game. I'm not stupid.
Yes, they won, I think. Didn't they?
I will let you know in a second. I think so. I am way too far back.
Yes, you are.
They definitely.
All right.
There's no
Wizards won 109-101.
Okay, so I give them a 2-game lead, dominance, 5 games. They got it. So moving on to the surprise series of playoffs.
I'm shocked by this.
I predicted this one. I told Andrew right off the bat.
We did not because we thought the Celtics actually could go to the NBA Finals.
See, I don't know. Well, I mean,
and I should have. See, we fell into a trap.
You did.
We fell into the trap of the Celtics. We fell into the Celtics trap, which is flame out every year, which is what they've done for the last how many years. And it's always seemingly in the first round, at best in the second round. And the Bulls, in my opinion, right now are playing literally like they're from 10 years ago. Because what the hell is Rajon Rondo doing playing the way he is right now? Oh, and Dwayne Wade's literally playing like he has new knees. So what the fuck's going on there?
Dwayne Wade's a man. I told you to draft
Dwayne
him.
Wade, literally, I read the funniest quote from him the other day, and it was fantastic. And it was, "We're gonna ride Jimmy Butler until we can't ride him no more, and then you guys can ride me." And I'm going, wow, that was too easy. But it's no joke. Jimmy Butler is, in my opinion, probably the best two-way player in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Wow, over Kawhi.
Probably the best. Okay, top 3 two-way player in the NBA, hands down. I don't think there's anybody really even outside of Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if there's anyone that's even close to being that good of a two-way player as Jimmy Butler. He plays great defense, and not to mention the guy's a scoring title winner or contender. So it amazes me that organization doesn't like him because I want him. Can we have him here in Detroit? Because that would be amazing.
Oh, I would love it.
Granted, Detroit doesn't have the pieces to get him, but moving on from that, but this series is such a surprise because we thought Celtics could actually have a shot.
See, this was I'm not so shocked. I want you right now, Andrew, to name the top 4 players on the Boston Celtics. If you could draft 4 people from the Boston Celtics, who would you
Isaiah
draft?
Thomas, Avery Bradley,
You
Jay
said
Crowder, and Al Horford. Are you kidding
All right.
me?
Now then take the 4
He
people
said
from the
me, Nicholas.
All right, well, okay, well, Andrew, you do the Bulls now. Take the top 4 players of the Bulls.
Jimmy Butler, Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade, and who's her big?
Robin Lopez. Oh, who also is playing out of his mind right now. I will take the Celtics Big 4 over the Bulls Big 4 any day.
I'm taking playoff experience and Dwayne Wade.
I would take. I'm sorry, but I'm going to take the. Granted, Isaiah Thomas is a huge liability on defense because the guy is 5 foot fucking nothing, so he's short as shit. But I'm taking. I'm sorry, but Dwayne Wade is. See, the problem is Dwayne Wade did not play like this the whole year. Dwayne Wade
did not have a bad year.
He didn't have a good year, and by the way, he's also coming off a recent injury. He's not playing that well this year.
Dwayne Wade's played.
He's not played
his whole life.
I know, but he's played. He's had
and I want to throw out an interesting
absence.
statistic. Al Horford is 0 for 12 in playoff series.
I get that.
Non-existent.
Granted, he's also been stuck on the Hawks teams that literally were garbage in playoffs. So I don't really blame him because they had nobody besides him.
Well, he's about to get shut out again.
Well, but I'm sorry,
by
but
Robin Lopez.
If I'm going by the top 4 players on the Celtics, I put him as my number 4. I don't think he's that important to that team. I'm saying that Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas and Avery Bradley are the 3 most important players on that team. Not to mention Marcus Smart is also extremely important coming off the bench. I'm putting those guys well above Al Horford. So to say that the Boston, that you would take the Bulls lineup of Rajon Rondo, the old ass Rajon Rondo, who literally was non-existent the whole year until this series. You're taking Dwayne Wade, who literally missed more than half the series, half the season, and also, by the way, averaged below 20 points for the first time in his career. You're talking Robin Lopez, who was absolute garbage all year. You're talking Jimmy Butler, who's okay, I'll give you Jimmy Butler. Yeah, names. That's all they are now. No, it doesn't.
In playoffs, it matters.
Since when does names matter?
Playoff experience.
Break it up.
Matters.
No.
Picks.
Experience, sure.
Break it up. Picks.
Bulls in 6.
Bulls in 6.
Can I delay my pick until after their next game?
No. You need to make a pick right now.
Right now, Bulls in 6.
Celtics in 7.
Celtics in 7. I'm going to agree with Nick on this one. Celtics in 7.
Yep. Okay.
I'm sorry, but the age of Chicago does not work
I'm not
out.
saying Chicago.
And you're also talking about Chicago playing so goddamn out of their minds. This hasn't happened at all this year. Never has this happened with the Chicago Bulls team. Never.
They're going to continue it, and they're going to
No,
get
they're
out of this
not.
round. They're
Because
get out of this round.
literal statistical analysis would disagree with you.
I'm not saying they're going to win the next series.
I'm sorry. I don't see the Bulls continuing this pace of play because they played so far out of their leagues against Boston at home.
This Eastern Conference has been so weak.
Oh my God! It's the weakest Eastern Conference in history.
You know where the Celtics would be if this was like
fourth seed.
Fourth seed.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not even saying that the Eastern Conference is good. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Boston's just way better than Chicago.
I don't think that Boston is a number 1 seed. I don't see him as a number 1 seed. I see realistically, Cleveland's my number 1 seed. But
granted, Cleveland's been a fucking mess this year too.
Cleveland's a mess, but when LeBron comes to time to shine, he shines, and he's
until he gets carried off the court and because of a cramp.
He's gonna get to the finals again.
I don't disagree with you. If the Celtics lose this series or lose out in the next series, I don't disagree with you that Cleveland's got the easy pass. But coming to a game, an Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Cavs, I give it to the Celtics. They won the regular season series. They are, in my opinion, the better all-around team, have the better bench.
I think there's only 2 teams right now in the East that have a chance to beat the Cavs. Toronto and Washington. I give more props to Washington
anyway,
to win it.
I don't.
to have a chance. I don't think they're going to do it.
Keeping with this series and keeping with the Celtics, we're going to move on here.
But I'm having so much fun.
I don't want to move on. I want to continue arguing this.
Moving on. Tragedy struck on Saturday when Isaiah Thomas's little sister China was killed in a one-vehicle accident.
At 5 a.m.
Surprisingly, Isaiah decided he was going to play on Sunday.
Not surprisingly, in my opinion.
Well,
we've seen this happen before, where players will use their basketball as a therapy.
Yeah, I'm saying it's therapeutic. But anyway, Charles Barkley came out and said that watching Isaiah Thomas cry on the sidelines,
shoot around. He was talking about a shoot around
was not a good look for him, and it made him uncomfortable. Was Charles Barkley out of line saying this?
Oh, wait.
Let me open this up. I'm gonna first go out and be on the record saying that I think the comments that the outrage for this whole situation, the comments of Charles Barkley were taken completely 100% out of context. 100% out of context. Actually, listen to what he said and put it to the situation. It made him feel what he was saying when it made him feel uncomfortable was that he felt uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, no,
he didn't. I think he was taken completely out of context in that respect. However, him saying that it was not a good look, I can see why. That's where it bothers me a little bit. I do think he kind of stepped over the line a little bit there, saying that it's not a good look. Granted, that could be just a euphemism that he's using, saying it doesn't look good for him. He could be completely being sympathetic for Isaiah Thomas here, and it's being completely taken out of context. Only person who knows that is Charles Barkley and the person having the conversation with him. That's it. So...
Well, he was having a conversation with America.
I understand. Okay, then no one knows but Charles Barkley what he meant in that scenario.
I think Charles Barkley's been in hot water before.
Which is why people are so outraged with what he said, because he said things in the past that... hot takes. However, in this situation, I have no reason to believe Charles Barkley would go out and disrespect
do you want the full quote?
This scenario like this. I've heard the full quote. I've read it 3 times.
He said, for Alex, he said, I'm not feeling comfortable with him sitting on the sideline crying like that. It makes me uncomfortable because it tells me he's not in shape to play.
Which he's probably right.
I don't know how this night's going to turn out, but to be sitting on the sideline a few minutes from the game crying, that makes me uncomfortable for him. That's just not a good look in my personal opinion.
Which shows how great he is.
Not just shows how great of a player he is, granted he's a defensive liability, but you tend to see players shine in situations like this. Michael Jordan in his flu game. Isaiah Thomas with the broken ankle. You tend to see players shine when it comes to your top superstars shine in adversity. Isaiah Thomas is no different here. So it really, in my opinion, did not surprise me that he played as well as he did. But it shows his true toughness. And I mean, I tweeted it out the other day that you really have to respect the heart that Isaiah Thomas has shown in this series. Yes, they're down 2-0, but this series is not over. They are the number 1 seed and are so much better than the Bulls. You know where the Bulls would be in the Western Conference? You mentioned where the Celtics would be. The Bulls wouldn't even be in the playoffs in the Western Conference. So the Celtics are the better team. And this really goes to show how the heart that Isaiah Thomas has and how much love for the game that Isaiah Thomas has here and the competitiveness that he has. And this really does say that this is his therapy, and this is the therapy for many players when it comes to their craft, their sport. But taking what Charles Barkley said, the only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was him saying that it's not a good look.
Yeah, that's
the only thing that really rubbed me the wrong way, because I can still see him saying that he's being sympathetic for Isaiah Thomas, because it really isn't a good look for him. It is hard for him to be there and be in that situation. It is hard for people to look at that. It's hard for people because I'm looking at Isaiah. If I'm Charles Barkley looking at Isaiah Thomas crying on the sidelines during a shoot around before a game, I feel bad for him. It is hard for me to look at that. It's not a good look.
When you say not a good look, that implies you shouldn't be doing it.
Charles Barkley, I'm sorry, but Charles Barkley's not the most
eloquent
speaker, so to speak. Thank you for the word. So for him to easily misspeak or use the wrong choice of words there is very easy for him to do, because we've seen it in the past from time to time. I don't really think what Charles Barkley's trying to say is that he's attacking Isaiah Thomas and saying he shouldn't be playing. Because there's no doubt Isaiah Thomas, it's 100% his decision, and he's got to respect him for that decision, and I bet you he does. There's no reason for anyone to attack Isaiah Thomas.
The way people interpreted it was him saying that he shouldn't be crying on the sideline.
Exactly, the way people interpreted it.
That's the way it sounds.
It's the way it sounds, but that's not the way he meant it. That's why it's 100% taken out of context.
You don't know how he meant it.
Barkley came out and said that. I believe
Well,
he has.
I can tell you right now, he did come out yesterday to clarify, and he was just basically kind of saying, "Oh, you idiot! You nitwits, fools, and idiots! I don't care what you think. I don't care what your mama thinks." I wasn't trying to insult the guy.
Exactly.
I was just uncomfortable about his pain and that he's going through.
Exactly. He was seeing Isaiah Thomas's pain and
he
feeling
talked to
sorry
Isaiah,
for
and
him.
he said Isaiah didn't take offense with it.
Exactly. He felt sorry for Isaiah here.
And
that made the uncomfort level there. I would feel uncomfortable also because I would feel so sad for him.
I watched it. I was uncomfortable watching it.
Exactly. That's what Barkley was saying. People are taking what he's saying out of context.
I don't think he wanted an issue with him saying uncomfortable. He was saying people were having an issue with him saying not a good look.
Again, not a very eloquent speaker. Taken out of context.
Andrew, he is a walking mouthpiece, but
taken out of context. I can't be mad about what Barkley said because of the fact that it was completely taken out of context. It's faux outrage, in my opinion. Faux outrage. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. But
like
because
Kendrick.
it's Charles Barkley, it's going to be. Because it came out of that man's mouth, it's going to be a big deal.
By the way,
regardless of what he meant, people are going to interpret it their own way.
Isaiah had quite the game that night.
Oh, hell yes he did. Again, players in those situations, the big stars tend to shine. We've seen it time and time again, and this is no different.
Yeah.
Massive respect for what IT4 put out. Massive respect for him being able to fight through his feelings, fight through what he's going through with his family and all that. Massive respect. I got nothing but respect for Isaiah Thomas. And straight up, he's become, because of this situation, probably one of my more favorite players in the league. Because to have that kind of heart, that is something, in my opinion, that the game is missing so badly right now. It's a player with heart like that.
Yeah. We'll get to that soon. But first, news broke this morning that Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his jail cell.
Stop right there. Stop right
what
there. Hold on. Stop right there. And we'll finish introducing in a second. Stop right there. What are your feelings on that? Because I've heard so many mixed things from so many different people. What are your feelings on Aaron Hernandez dying this late last night or this morning, whenever it was, by suicide in his cell? How do you feel?
Well, to say I have zero sympathy would be lying, because no matter who you are, I have sympathy for if. I don't like seeing people die, so in general, I have sympathy when someone dies. But let me finish. Let me finish. Right. I don't have nearly as much sympathy for him as I would for another person who's not a murderer.
Okay, so I'm assuming you have no sympathy then.
I have no sympathy. What he did was definitely a crime. It's disrespectful to the family.
My standpoint on this
is I think I have more sympathy for his family.
I have more sympathy. For his
daughter and his fiance. However, I think from beginning to end, this entire scenario is sad. I think the Aaron Hernandez story is sad. Because remember,
where he was.
From where he came from as a kid, his father had passed away, and he lost such a massive figure in his life, a massive mentor in his life at such a young age, and he turned the wrong way. We've seen it time and time again where he's made the wrong choice and turned the wrong way. He's tried to get his life out of turmoil, but even Urban Meyer's come out and said the guy's a lost cause in college. He had 10-hour-long Bible studies with the guys to try to turn the kid's life around, and it just couldn't speak to him. The entire Aaron Hernandez story is a total sad story to begin with. And then you have his daughter into the mix. You have Odin Lloyd's murder into the mix, which I have no sympathy for what Aaron Hernandez did. I have no respect for what Aaron Hernandez did. No respect for, even if he did commit the double murder, no respect for it. However, I feel sad for anyone that has the mindset anyone who is in the mindset of being able to commit suicide, because you have to be in such a mindset that truly nobody can understand that's living today. Nobody can understand that mindset that.
And just to clarify, it's a suspected suicide. There's not been confirmed
exactly.
yet.
It is suspected suicide
because the lawyer did come out also saying there's no way he would have done that.
Agent.
So,
granted, he's putting in his own investigation. Everyone else is saying suicide. He had the Bible open to the passage of John 3:16. He had John 3:16 written in marker on his head with red marker on his hands and feet. So you are saying that came out today. Look it up. But that did come out today as something that's added on to the story. But he had John 3:16 written in his forehead in red marker and red marker on his hands and feet. In John 3:16, the passage is very famous and known for, Jesus and all that, but
Jesus.
You don't know John.
yes, I
100%. But he's gotta look it up. Oh my god!
I'll look it up to read it exactly. I'll really look up. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. So basically, he's saying, yes, that's obviously an important passage to him, and it is for a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
Because through him, all things can be done.
Yeah.
And so basically, you could take his suicide as one of two ways, because Massachusetts has some very interesting laws when it comes to someone who is in an... Because remember, his convicted murder is now on appeal, and was on appeal when he passed away.
Yeah.
Because he got an automatic appeal on his conviction, and he was going through that process. He's been acquitted of the double murder. He's on appeal for his other murder. Now, there are restitutions that his estate is paying to the family of Odin Lloyd and the families of anyone else who is involved in these situations. However, in the state of Massachusetts, when a convicted felon passes away, when a convicted murderer passes away, when his case is on appeals, all charges are dropped. He dies an innocent man. Now, that means that all restitutions being paid out to these families go away. They are gone. No longer have to be paid. This is straight from Massachusetts law. So all restitutions that are being paid out to the families of Odin Lloyd and to anyone else involved in the scenario no longer are getting this restitution. No longer any money or anything is paid out to those families. Granted, now they can appeal that and go further with it. However, that gets very expensive. Because they would have to re-go through that process, re-go through those lawsuits. Could that have been something weighing on Aaron Hernandez's mind when he did this and be a reason for it? Because you can argue that guy was a gangsta in life and a gangsta in death. However, completely beside what I'm going to say here, and my standpoint is, again, anybody who is in that mindset, that has the mindset of being able to commit suicide, is extremely sad. I don't have sympathy for the guy in the right that he is a murderer, a convicted murderer. But I kind of feel sad for the whole scenario, and I especially feel sad for his daughter and his fiance, because they are the true victims in this. They are the true victims in this when it comes to Aaron Hernandez's death. Yeah. And the family of Odin Lloyd, and the family of the two people that may or may not have been murdered by him, he was acquitted of the charges. But the families of everyone involved are the true victims in this, including Aaron Hernandez's. That's why I feel sad in this scenario. Moving on, introducing the topic now. With that being said, though, Aaron Hernandez was on top of the world when everything broke loose about Odin Lloyd. Yeah. In his convictions there. Obviously a massive downfall when it came to sports. Let's hear some other ones. Who, in your opinion, had the biggest downfall in sports? You started off, my homie.
Well, a few come to mind. I'm not going to go quite as tragic as what we've seen as far as outside of
could you be any more somber?
No, I'm not gonna go quite as tragic as stuff. I'm gonna go more on the lines of something happened to the person rather than they did something to fuck their own careers up. Okay. So I'm gonna go with someone that I've actually talked about on the show and how big of a fan I am with this person on the show.
Can you really argue Tracy McGrady? Can you really argue that he had a downfall though?
He didn't have that big.
This guy was still a pretty damn good player after.
He's still gonna go in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you can't really argue that's a downfall. I'm talking the guy went from on top of the world to damn near zero.
I got one to start it off.
Dude, after the Rockets started refusing to play him because of his knee injuries, he was irrelevant. Remember when he came to Pistons on the cheapest deal of all time?
But it's not a downfall. I don't see a downfall. He's going to end up in the Hall of Fame, one of the greatest.
See, he is in the Hall of Fame. That argument is where I would disagree with you, Alex, because the guy I'm going to mention is going to go to the Hall of Fame in his respective sport.
Yes, he is.
I know.
He just got left.
Yeah, but the guy I'm going to mention is going to go to the Hall of Fame in his respective sport because the guy was the greatest player in his sport ever, outside of maybe one person.
I'm saying, the reason I'm saying that is because this guy, he was on track to be talked about as top 10.
Okay, downfall and unfortunate scenario are two completely different things. Let's just stick to downfall here. Who self-destructed? That's not a self-destruction. So
I know where Nick's going.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not really a downfall, though. That's more of a an unfortunate situation led to him
series
not
of
being relevant
unfortunate
anymore. That's
events.
not a series
It's
of
still a
unfortunate events.
downfall.
That's not a downfall, though. A downfall is someone who's on top of the world and fucks it up for themselves.
Well, I got one. Right
A
off the
downfall
bat.
from
That's
great
not
Downfall doesn't be
golf.
something you do yourself.
it really kind of does, though.
It doesn't. Not at
For
all.
the sake of this argument, it does. God damn it!
You can just bring that up in the middle of the
All right,
thing.
let me just start it off with one. I know where Nick's going with this one, but I'll go opposite and go to a different sport: cycling. Lance Armstrong,
another guy I was going to bring
Yeah.
up.
Lance Armstrong, won
Great
7
example.
Tour de France's. Denied he was doing steroids on and on again.
Well, doping.
All this shit.
Blood doping. Basically
and kept
increases your
denying it.
oxygen supply. But
Kept denying it. Everyone thought, okay, I don't know. Everyone felt bad because he had the testicular cancer.
However, the one defense I have for Lance Armstrong is this. Blood doping in cycling was such a massive problem when he was on top of the world that if you were to take one of his Tour de France titles and give it to the very next runner-up who was not involved in doping or caught doping in cycling, you'd have to go all the way back to 26th place to find the next guy that wasn't a doper in cycling. That's my one defense for Lance Armstrong. Because if you're doing it and everybody's doing it, where's the cheating? You're all cheating. It's literally taking everyone's... You're basically making a superhuman of everyone. So where's the competition advantage there? There isn't one. When everybody is cheating, there's no competition advantage.
The top people are cheating, and they should be punished for that.
Well, they have been. But
Exactly.
again, though, if everyone is cheating, where's the competition advantage? So that's my argument for Lance Armstrong. Granted, cheating is cheating regardless, and he should be.
Yeah, and he denied it for
reprimanded
how many years?
Well,
Like 6?
everyone's going to deny it.
Yeah, of
but
course.
He's going to be reprimanded for it, and he should be. However, when everyone is cheating, there's no competition advantage there. There's no competitive advantage when everyone else is cheating, not just you. That's my big argument for Lance Armstrong. Yes, he had a massive downfall from grace because no one wears Livestrong bracelets anymore. No one even cares about Lance Armstrong.
They were the shit
Armstrong
back
anymore.
in the day.
Oh, they were fucking awesome. Everyone had them, and then they became huge. All the other the other charities that came out with their own bracelets. I mean, they created a fashion trend, let alone a charitable trend. But yes, Lance Armstrong, perfect example. But that is my one defense for him. However, mine, I really have no defense for. I don't think anybody does. Tiger Woods. Guy was literally going to break the Jack Nicklaus's major record, which is now never going to be touched by anyone. He was on pace to do it. Now he's non-existent. The guy hasn't even played golf competitively in how long now? He continues to have injury after injury after injury, but that all stems from the one night with Elin Woods coming out, throwing the 9-iron through his car window as he's driving off and sideswipes a tree. Then it comes out that he slept with over 100 and some odd women and some men. But he had such a... I swear that the guy on the right was that Mexican pizza delivery guy that came to my house an hour ago. He is not. He's been here the whole time, my friend. Kiki Meme 5, but he's been here the whole time. But I'm telling you, Tiger Woods, in my opinion, is the biggest downfall in sports because the guy literally was on absolute top of the world. He was the absolute most dominant golfer in his sport. He was must-see TV in a sport that nobody really gives a shit about watching it on TV, but he was must-see TV. His highlights were all over SportsCenter, all over the top 10. Everything he did, every single shot that he took was seen on TV. Every single one of them. And now he's non-existent at all. And it's his own fault. It's his own fault for sleeping with that many women, cheating on his wife that many times. Took him out of grace that for quite a bit, and he had to step away from golf for a while to go to to get his life together. Then he tried to come back, and nothing has been right since. That could be. That could be true because he doesn't have the testosterone levels he used to have. But he's not the same player anymore. He's not the same golfer, and it's obvious. And I don't think will ever touch Jack Nicklaus's record. In my opinion, I don't think he ever wins a major again. I don't even know if he wins a tournament again.
But if you wanted to go self-inflicted, I'm gonna stick a bass on my end. How about Gilbert Arenas?
Oh, okay, there you go. That's
Great
a good
one. That is a good one, and actually a great one because the guy was a monster when he was
pulling guns on Javaris Crittenton.
Yeah.
Crittenton.
Yeah.
In the locker room.
Not
He
the
was
brightest apple in
he
the
was
bunch.
a monster. And
He was.
He was the guy who used to love to go toe-to-toe with T-Mac.
Hell yeah. Gilbert Arenas was awesome to watch. He was exciting. He was a scorer. He was a rebounder, defender. He was a passer. He was everything you would want in a superstar player.
Yeah.
And then he had to make a dumb mistake and decided to bring a gun to the locker room and pull it. I mean, how fucking stupid can you be? And now he's gone.
Completely.
Who do you
Like,
think
there's
is stupider?
downfall and then they just disappear.
Pulling
Like,
a gun or Michael Vick, the dog scandal?
Michael Vick's dog scandal. That I have no excuse for. There's no excuse whatsoever for abusing.
Michael Vick came back from that.
But he did his time.
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas just didn't have the skill to come back from that, I don't think. Once he was out, he was done.
Yeah.
Michael Vick came back, but he was never really like.
Did he ever like attempt to make an NBA comeback?
No.
He was done. He was
He's old
blackballed from the league after that, which I kind of don't blame him. But
Why was he blackballed, not Michael Vick?
because the
Because of
NFL,
one of the
Because the NFL
because
doesn't
we
care
talked about this, because the NFL, not just dogs, the NFL doesn't give a shit about off the field issues.
That's true.
When it comes to it, the NFL doesn't give a shit whether you
We've seen
beat
it.
women, beat your kids, beat people at bars, do
Hide
whatever.
your wife, hide your kids, hide your dog.
Beat dogs, beat animals. They don't give a shit about what you
don't.
do. Smoke weed, smoke crack, drive drunk. They don't care about what you do off the floor, off the field.
You
of
think
play.
that changes
Apparently
if there's a
the-
regime change?
Yes, I hope it does. I think Goodell needs to go.
I
The
agree.
NFL and its
Everyone
fan base.
agrees.
Hey, thanks for the follow, kicking me 5. The last guy on earth. Is this about soccer or football, guys?
This
American
actually-
football. American football. We're talking about Michael Vick
Yeah.
right now, and basically the biggest downfall in sports. My guy was Tiger Woods. His was Lance Armstrong, and his ended up being Gilbert Arenas after we took away his argument
Tracy
of
McGrady.
Tracy McGrady. But
So unfair.
but
That can be another
Michael
day.
Vick is another example. Granted, he did make a comeback, but the only reason he made a comeback is, again, the NFL doesn't give a shit, and neither does his fan base about what you do off the field. If you can play, that's all they care about. And they're going to pay you.
I agree. 100%.
That's not true with any other sport. Baseball, if you do something like that off the field, you're gone.
Alex Rodriguez.
Well, he was actually going to be another argument of mine of a big downfall was Alex Rodriguez.
There's a lot of baseball ones who do steroids.
Yes, we just saw one the other day. Starling Marte. He was having a career year last year, and come to find out, he's now suspended for 80 games for performance-enhancing
Yep.
drugs. And, oh, by the way, that renders him ineligible for the playoffs,
Yep.
which, if his team gets that far. So, he's a young star.
Remember Barry Bonds?
Well, he was never suspended or convicted. Nobody ever proved
know,
Barry
but
Bonds did it.
it's-
However, the guy was obvious.
I'm just
See,
saying,
the thing is with
the
Barry
tar-
Bonds
the-
He did
is
it.
he didn't talk.
Yeah.
Mark McGwire talked too much. Sammy Sosa talked too
Yeah.
much. Guys like that talk too much in that era.
But I'm saying-
Barry Bonds, whenever they asked him a question, motherfucker just hit another damn
Would
home
you
run.
consider that the permanent tarnishment of his legacy, though?
Oh,
as
absolutely.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like,
Problem is, Barry Bonds is one that I just don't understand because the guy was such a good fucking player before steroids. Before steroids, he was a guy who was hitting 20, 30 home runs and, oh, by the way, stealing 30, 40 bases a year. Granted, when he started doing steroids, he wasn't stealing no bases no more. But the one thing I have to say about Barry Bonds is this. Nobody could see the ball outside of maybe Ted Williams and Ty Cobb the way that Barry Bonds could. Nobody was a true pure hitter the way Barry Bonds was in that era of baseball. And even today, that man drew more walks than anyone. That man did not strike out.
Yeah.
Granted, whenever he hit, that man could see the ball better and read the pitcher's pitch better than anyone in the game when he played. That is the one thing that I can tell you steroids cannot help.
Yeah.
True. I'm learning
agree.
about steroids right now.
It is exactly. That is the one thing. Your cognitive abilities and abilities to see things like that and read things like that does not. Steroids do not affect your smarts when it comes to the game. He was just a smart baseball player. That is the one thing I have.
Besides the steroids.
Okay, but
not
see,
smart.
everyone, a lot of people did steroids.
There's nothing
It's
you
not
can
that
do to help
smart.
your smarts other than being dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all you can do.
Exactly. And that's my argument
And
for Barry Bonds.
that's
However,
about to
the
get
guy
into the
cheated.
next topic.
There's no doubt the guy cheated.
That's we're about to get into the next topic.
So, but
I'll let you introduce this one because you brought it up.
all right. So earlier today, I was listening to the radio. The local sports radio station was talking about guys who just have true venom in their veins to win. The true gods of competition, and it all stemmed from Kobe Bryant the other day posted an article on the Players Tribune about he used to study the way sharks hunt seals
Yep.
to figure out how to defend Allen Iverson. How that fucking helped him, I don't know. but it's awesome.
He got really mad when AI dropped like 40 points in 10 to
How it helped him, I don't know, but it's awesome.
And-
it's seriously so cool.
And he like completely dedicated himself trying
But
to figure out how to
that
stop
right
him.
there tells me that man, and I've said this time and time again, but that tells you that man had venom in his blood.
Yeah.
He had he was so obsessed with winning that there was nothing he wouldn't do to win. Guys like Larry Bird come to mind. Guys like Michael Jordan come to mind. Steve Yzerman, Wayne Gretzky, guys like that just have so much venom to win that they will stop at nothing to make it happen.
Yeah.
However, in today's game, it's hard to find guys like that. Let's try and figure out who we can think of as some guys that are modern day venom-containing competitors. Because there's not many. I can't say LeBron is, because LeBron's a bitch.
I got one for you.
He is the biggest bitch.
Jesus Christ. I got one for you.
I mean, he's
Not. He doesn't have the venom. He doesn't have it.
He doesn't have the venom, but he does work though. He has the work.
He does work, but he doesn't have the venom of the competitor. He's not a true competitor, in my opinion, because, yes, he steps up in playoff time, but nobody with real, true competitiveness needs to be carried off the floor in Game 6 of an NBA series, playoff series, because of a cramp. I'm sorry, nobody that has true venom needs that.
I got one for you. It's actually a carryover from previous era. Tom Brady.
That was gonna go.
That's my first one. Tom Brady, his wife, and I love this fucking story about Tom Brady. If this doesn't describe Tom Brady, I don't know what does. But Tom Brady is, what's her fucking face?
Gisele
Bündchen, yeah. In the offseason one time, comes downstairs at like 2, 3 in the morning, pitch black in their house. Comes downstairs, sees Tom Brady on the computer, and she's thinking he's watching porn. She's about to be mad that he's watching porn or laugh at him because he's watching porn at 2, 3 in the morning in the dark. First thought that comes to her mind is porn. Nope, guy's watching game film. Are you fucking serious? Guy's watching game film at 2, 3 in the morning in the off season. Are you?
That's what I like to see.
Hey,
I love it.
he had the tabs on, right? We've all been there.
But if that doesn't scream competitor, and when it comes to football, which is a sport that really struggles for guys like that,
Yeah.
That's a true competitor right there. Another guy that comes to mind is Aaron Rodgers. But in my opinion, the biggest red ass, which if you don't know what red ass is, it's a venom-containing competitor. One of the biggest red asses in the sport, Phillip Rivers. The guy plays on a garbage football team for a garbage football franchise. And this man screams and yells and gets in his own team's face, gets in the opponent's face. A constant competitor, studier of the game, constantly in the film room, on the field, in the weight room, constantly trying to be better at his game. For a garbage team. You know how many players would have that kind of motivation for a team like that? Not many. I'll tell you that right now. It's not many.
Yeah.
That's why Phillip Rivers, in my opinion, is one of the biggest red asses when it comes to sports today. But another example in another sport for me.
Well, let's give this first.
Here, let's hear yours, because you're not going to name the one I'm about to name.
No, I'm not. I would go a different sport, soccer.
Okay.
Right.
I like it.
Especially since Cristiano Ronaldo has been just dominant.
You really think he's that big of a competitor, though?
He is.
He's so much of a pretty boy and a flop to me, though. Okay.
So
I guess you can kind of argue.
Can I interrupt one thing, by
go.
the way? This is off topic, but the Rays went on a walk-off against the Tigers after Tigers had a 7-5 lead because Iglesias fell over trying to turn the game into double play.
Well, that's Saturday night. They'll be on the top,
not top 10.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess you can argue.
You
can argue Cristiano Ronaldo when it comes to
I
soccer
was
because
go more messy, but
granted because yes, Ronaldo
Messi.
flops a lot. But that's
part
of the sport now.
That's
So I get it. So okay, but
Part of the sport
I guess
that
Messi.
I go
despise.
Messi. They go hand in hand. They push each other.
They
One
really
wants
do,
to be
though.
better than the other, and you're seeing it now, like a turn. Kind of Cristiano Ronaldo is kind of going up and higher than Messi right now. I think
Just right now, though.
Right now.
Messi, in my opinion,
Messi is overall still the
elite
greatest
player.
career, career-wise. But right now,
see the thing that I like the most. About Messi and Ronaldo is, it is the one true example of player versus player competition in today's sports. The one true example, probably the truest example you see today. There's really no other true hatred competition like you see with Messi and Ronaldo in any sport. You saw it with Bird and Jordan. Now you're seeing it with Messi and Ronaldo. Those two constantly are trying to be better than each other. Not just make their teams better than the other team, make each other better than the other person. And the constant level of competition just keeps going up and up and up when it comes to those guys, even into their older age. It's amazing to watch those two play. It is seriously, even for a fringe soccer fan or someone who's not a big soccer fan, watch those two play against each other, because it is seriously a treat. It is a true treat to watch those two play.
And you're watching the two best teams, so you don't lose.
Not exactly. You don't lose much by watching the teams, but it is seriously a treat to watch those two play against each other, because the level of competition there it's not just Barca versus Real Madrid. It's Messi Ronaldo's matchup that is the true star in that matchup. It's so much fun to watch. Yeah. But
who's your second guy?
My second guy is one that I knew you guys weren't going to mention, and you might not even know who he is. I'd be shocked if you do, but it's Jonathan Taves.
Of course I know who he is.
Okay.
Blackhawks, right?
Yeah,
Blackhawks
captain.
I like to call him Toes.
Toes? Yes. His name is spelled weird. But Jonathan Taves is a perfect example of a guy who's a true competitor, because, in my opinion, he's literally a young version of Steve Yzerman. He does everything Stevie Y did.
Lofty comparison.
Hell yes, and it's absolutely deserved. Steve Yzerman himself said he plays more. There's no player in the league.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying
Steve Yzerman himself said he plays. There's no player in the league who plays more like me than Jonathan Taves.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's a lofty comparison.
It is a lofty comparison, but again, well deserved. He is a true competitor. He dies to win in hockey. Dies to win, and you can tell his heart is breaking at the sight of his team being down 3-0 in their series to the Nashville Predators. And you know he's right now losing so much fucking sleep over it that he's constantly staring at film, staring at what can I do to make my team better? What can we do to be better on the ice to beat these guys, because we are a better team than them. We're the best team in the league, and I am the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taves is another example for me.
Now I'm gonna give you guys a challenge here, because this is a sport that's been hit the hardest about this topic, as far as players not having that venom in them anymore, is basketball. Is there a player in the NBA right now that you could say?
In my opinion, there's one that's that's playing right now, and it's Russell Westbrook. He's a guy who literally you could turn back the clock on. You could translate his game to the 80s, because he's physical and he's athletic and he just does everything on the floor. You could play his game in the 80s.
Now,
you could also play it in today's.
Let me ask you a question about Russell Westbrook. Do you think when you compare what Kobe was doing, the way he was studying the game, the way he was refining his craft?
See, I don't doubt Russell Westbrook does the same thing.
No,
I just don't know that he's quite on the level of Kobe.
I'm saying, do you think the decision making is an issue there? Because Russell Westbrook is the guy that right now he's playing for the numbers. And
yes, okay, yes and no, a little bit. But see, I want to see him play
on a good team.
On a good team, as a player he is now, not the player he was with Kevin Durant, because he was young and inexperienced and selfish. I want to see him play as the player he is now on a team that's worth half a fucking damn. That's not total trash, because that's what he's playing with now. And the fact that he is constantly competing at the level that he's at with that team tells me he's a true competitor.
And I'm not saying he's chasing numbers, because if he was, he wouldn't have got the triple-double in like 10 minutes less than Chamberlain, right?
How is that?
Oscar Robinson.
Because he's actually he's admitted to going over the scorer's table and checking where he's at on the assist.
He's admitted that he did assist hunt and rebound hog and things like that. He did. And you know what? I don't fucking blame him. You were in the verge of history. Do your thing, my man. But do your thing, Brody. But still, though, the guy is a true competitor. He plays on a garbage team and carried them to the playoffs. Literally, I've never seen someone carry a team like that in my life. That says a lot about the true competition level of the guy. Yes, the decision-making, you could argue, is a little bit of an issue. But I still think the guy's got some venom.
I would love to see him on a better team, though.
I would, too. I would absolutely love to see him on a better team.
What team do you think you could thrive the most on?
The Pistons.
No.
I'll take him.
You know what team, and I would hate to see this happen, but you know what team I really could see him be really successful on, and it would make it such an interesting lineup? Cleveland. Put Russ at the 1, Kyrie at the 2, because Kyrie doesn't really. He's not a 1. He's not a true 1. He's a short 2. You'd have some defensive problems maybe a little bit, but that's why you have a 6-man who's a defensive specialist. But
But between him, Kyrie, and LeBron, and obviously Kevin Love's still there, do you think you're going to have an issue as far as...
There's going to be issues.
Yes, they already have issues with the three of them as it is.
The point guard on that team.
Take out the attitudes. Put the talent there. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I don't think there's a team that would even come close. And I think that would be one of the most exciting teams in the history of the league. I think it'd be so much fun to watch him on that team. Mm-hmm. Another team I'd like to see him play with? Philly. They've got talent there. It's young, but it's there. Dario Saric is a real good player. Joel Embiid's arguably going to be the best center in the league in 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. Pair that with a guy like Russell Westbrook, and oh, by the way, that's the one true thing they're missing. A true point guard that's a really good point guard. Mm-hmm. That team competes for, titles. By the way.
Titles.
Ben Simmons is coming back. So.
Oh, man.
Philly would be a fun team to watch him play on, in my opinion.
I can't disagree with that.
I'm just trying to think of other people in the NBA that I could put. Kawhi, but not yet. I'm not ready to put the venom in him. He hasn't.
I don't think he has the venom. I don't. I
think he's like a quiet venom.
I don't think he's...
The two that come to mind for me...
I don't think he's talkative enough. I don't think he talks...
But do you have to be talkative?
Yes, you do. You have to be a trash talker. You have to be in the face of your opponent. Say, I'm going to shoot this ball.
Let's stop kidding ourselves.
Michael Jordan was... Larry Bird was. Kobe Bryant was.
Let's stop kidding ourselves. This style of play would not fly with Popovich. That's just not going to happen.
Who? What, Russ?
Yeah.
No,
that's not the Spurs.
No, but, you need a true point guard when it comes to Popovich.
So the two teams that come to mind for me are the Bulls. I think it'd be a very interesting dynamic.
That'd be a horrible shooting team.
With him and Jimmy Butler.
Can you imagine how horrible of a shooting team that would be?
But can you imagine
the Bulls are a very aggressive team, so I think he's a fit.
He fits there. I think they need a better big man.
The one where I think he could be really useful, but I question the fit as far as style of play would be Milwaukee. Because
I would love to see him playing with Chris Middleton and Antetokounmpo. That'd be fun.
They're just not. I just never view Milwaukee as they're more of a disciplined team. For as long as they are, they're a very disciplined team.
You're right.
Hey, put him on the Pelicans because when he misses those threes, you got two big amount of guys.
That's not even fair. The cap space doesn't allow for that, my friend. But
some salary cuts.
Actually, you know what?
The problem I have with Kawhi Leonard being that guy with the venom is I think you do have to be a trash talker and a loudmouth on the floor when it comes to having that venom. Because all the biggest ones do. Tom Brady does. LeBron James doesn't. And, well, he does a little bit, but he's not that guy with the venom. But Michael Jordan did. Larry Bird did.
Like Tom Brady, like the big mouth. I don't see him as like the big
He trash talks a lot. Every single thing I've read about him is he's a big-time trash talker.
You don't need a big mouth to be a true competitor, though. It's not...
Name the top competitors.
Tom Brady. I don't see.
He's got a big mouth in the field though. He trash talks a lot,
but it doesn't like show up as obvious
because you can't tell on the field. You can see it more on the court.
But guys, I'm saying just because a lot of the biggest competitors that we think of have big mouths.
That's my argument. Though.
It doesn't mean it's.
I'm not just talking being a competitor. I'm talking being the guy with the venom that no one else has in the league. That's why that's a big knock against Kawhi because the guys with true venom are your trash talkers.
I would see
guys like Michael Jordan who
Isaiah Thomas venom. You give him the ball in the fourth quarter. I'm trusting Isaiah Thomas to take that last shot and kill people.
You know what? He was a massive trash talker.
Are we talking this Isaiah or
Zeke?
Or
are you talking Zeke?
No, I'm talking about the current Isaiah Thomas.
I don't know what he has the venom to win.
He has the best fourth quarter this year.
I think the man's got heart. I don't think the guy's got venom to win. I don't think he's off the court. I don't think he's off the court I don't think he's off the court at 3 a.m. watching film. I don't think he's the first one on the court and the last one off.
And we won't know until the Boston Celtics become relevant.
They are relevant.
Really relevant.
Yes, really relevant. They are really relevant, Alex.
When they win.
They are really relevant.
They're not going to win this year.
They are really relevant. That's like trying to say the Spurs aren't relevant right now.
You're not hearing...
Because they haven't won in the last how many years?
Because no one cares about Isaiah Thomas right now.
I don't know that he's got the venom of a true competitor. He's almost there. I just don't think he's quite there yet. And I bet you, and I guarantee you that motherfucker trash talks like crazy on the floor. I guarantee you. Isaiah IT4 is trash talking like crazy. But my standpoint is, look at the guys with the true venom throughout history. They all talked shit in your face. Larry Bird, I'm going to dribble to my left, spin back right, take a step back, shoot a 3 right in your fucking face, and I'm going to hit it. You know what? He does it. Michael Jordan did the same thing. Michael Jordan would look at you, sing you random ass songs while you're trying to defend him, and he'd put up the fucking 3 right in your face, or the jumper right in your face, or drive right by you. Zeke constantly talked trash. all those players. Tom Brady talked trash on the field. All these players. Kobe. Oh my God, he talked trash in practice.
See,
all these guys are loud.
Let me ask the question I wanted to ask you. So, where would you place someone like Tim Duncan, who on the court or off the court? He was constantly studying, refining his game, finding ways to be effective with his skill set as he gets older. He was someone who was completely dedicated to his craft, who never stopped winning. You're right. Part of it is he was on great teams.
You're right. He is
got to the point where
in my opinion,
argue him as being a
you know where I put
him
as the exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. He's the exception to the rule. He's the one guy I would say who was not a real big trash talker, which he did a little bit.
He was mostly very quiet, though.
Mostly, yes. He was a quiet assassin, but he's in my opinion, the exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. He's the one guy I can think of that is a true venom type guy. But then again, though, when I compare him to a guy like Kobe Bryant, I give Kobe the edge when it comes to having that true venom. Mm-hmm. I do. And the big difference maker for me is that trash talking ability and the fact that Kobe did literally everything it had to take to win. I never saw Tim Duncan really take over his team like that.
So as far as trash talking is concerned, I think the reason you're seeing a dwindling of that specific part of the competitive nature of players,
because players are too friendly with each other.
Well, that and the technical fouls now.
Yes, you're right about that. The texts are out of control. However, not as much as you think, because you gotta understand that guys are still talking shit to each other.
Rasheed was at the tail end of
this. The thing is with Rasheed was a lot of his trash talk was to the refs. That's how you get yourself teed up. But he didn't get teed up for that type of stuff. And I don't think you do now. I don't think players have to be quiet on the floor. They could talk trash to each other.
Garnett called Charlie Villanueva a cancer patient.
Yes, that was uncalled for. But guys can talk shit to each other on the floor. Just don't take it past the whistle, or don't take it too far past the whistle. Don't get in each other's faces, and don't jaw at the ref. That's how you get teed up. Or the fans, yes. But
Marcus Smart got fined.
Yes, but however, I do think trash talking I know trash talking still happens in today's game.
Of course, it still happens. You just don't see it
I don't see it as much, but it still happens. And I think it could happen more and more if they would, actually do it and hate some of the guys that they play against, but they don't. So, but in my opinion, Tim Duncan is the exception. But I still give the nod to Kobe in that aspect, because Kobe took over games when he had to. I never really saw Tim Duncan do that. He allowed his team to bring the ball to him, bring the game to him. He never took control of the situation like Kobe did, or Michael, or Bird, or Tom Brady, or Jonathan Taves.
But do you think that was due to his position and having players like Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili who also have that end of game capacity?
No. Because Larry Bird was a guy who played 3-4 in that same scenario and still took over. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar still took over. Wilt Chamberlain still took over. You want to argue position, I'll throw out many guys that have taken over the games at their respective positions.
Position and your surrounding cast.
You're talking Kareem's playing with Magic Johnson and some of the greatest players in the history of the game.
If we
You're talking Bird's playing with some of the greatest players in the history of the game. You're talking Kobe played with Shaq and took over control of the game. You want to throw out literal players.
Kobe had Shaq and Kobe
still took control of games. Tim Duncan does not.
Exactly. Well, it's not like Shaq couldn't.
I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm just saying Kobe did when he had to.
Exactly. So that's
Tim Duncan never did when he had to.
Well, exactly.
He allowed the game still to come to him. Kobe didn't allow the game to come to him. Kobe took control of the game. Tim Duncan never did that.
He did have natural talent.
Who?
Not Kobe. Come on. He did have natural talent. He didn't go like...
Well, yeah, no shit, you have to. I'm just saying, though, when it came down to needing to win, Kobe took over.
Yeah, what
Tim Duncan never took over.
Tim Duncan's big thing was he found ways to refine his game to where he could be effective
in their system. Yes.
No, as his own personal skill set to him as he aged.
Yes.
He still found ways to be effective.
Granted, it wasn't anywhere near as effective as it was,
but anyway, where this drop off as far as venom and competitiveness in the league was most prevalent to me was when me and you went to to the final game of the Palace for the Pistons.
Oh my god!
And they showed all the Bad Boys highlights up on the Jumbotron.
In the fights in those scenes,
and you could just watch. You could just see the venom in the eyes of Bill Laimbeer and in the eyes of Isaiah Thomas.
And those aren't even guys I consider to be the most venomous when it came to winning.
They would not accept losing.
And then you got guys like Andre Drummond now who literally check out of games.
And then you look down from the Jumbotron, just watch the game.
And the players probably don't even care.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's your final game at your arena, the only home arena you've ever had. Yeah. And you don't even care. Mm-hmm.
So I think...
That rubbed me the wrong way, I'm not going to lie. I really don't like this Pistons team for that.
It's a league-wide thing, and I want to get to the bottom of what's causing it, and I really do feel like it is... A huge factor of it is the increased restrictions as far as what you're able to do on the court.
I don't know if that's as much as a
penalized.
huge factor. I think the biggest factor really is social media because these guys are able to interact more with each other. Because you think about it, back in the day, the only true interaction these guys had, the only interaction that a lot of these guys truly had with each other was on the court in the middle of a tense-ass competition. Mm-hmm. So... Sorry, but if the only time I ever see a guy is when I'm literally competing against him, I'm going to hate that motherfucker staring at me right across. Yeah. But if I'm going to go home and I'm going to talk to him on social media like, hey, man, good game tonight, whoa, I'm going to be friendly with that guy. Yeah. That's my boy. Social media is a huge problem when it comes to competition levels. Because these guys interact with each other too much. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not a good thing for competition.
It's kind of the point. I don't know if you remember earlier in the season where the NBA even outlawed team pages trash talking each other on social media.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
That
was so I remember who was it?
I forgot what teams it was. They had
it was the Kings and someone off. They were so friendly with it. I was dying. But see, another sport I think has taken a big drop off in the competitiveness levels is baseball. And again, it's the friendliness with a lot of these players, which, yes, you still have your rivalries like the Red Sox because the teams still hate each other. But that's more the rivalries with the fan bases now. The players are all friends, especially when it's the Latin players playing against players from their own country. They're all friends with each other. Granted, I understand that. Mm-hmm. Or the European players playing with or Japanese players, or the Asian players playing with players their fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
They're all friends, regardless of if they're on rival teams. And so, but one guy that I didn't even mention a baseball player that was a guy with true venom, but Pedro Martinez. The guy literally threw down a 75-year-old man. Don Zimmer fucking had his ass thrown to the ground. You ever seen that video?
Rivera.
Venom. Mariano Rivera, another guy who had true venom. Yes, I can't say Derek Jeter because towards the end of his career that really waned off. But in the heart of it. I'm pretty sure in the middle of an inning, that guy went into the Green Monster to go take a shit. But
I need sushi right now.
But Pedro Martinez, in my opinion, is a great example of a guy who had true venom. Literally, the guy had so much venom, he threw an old-ass man to the ground.
Yeah.
In a brawl between the Yankees and the Red Sox. But in baseball today, the guys that I think have true venom, who has true venom in baseball to win? I mean, Justin Verlander a little bit, but his off-the-field antics with his fiance kind of rubbed me the wrong way on a baseball aspect. I get it. Live your life, have fun. Your fiance is beautiful and has amazing tits, but
one of the
best antics that he gets involved, he's made himself too much of a reality star, so to speak. That the competitiveness doesn't seem to be there for me.
Even one of the best players in baseball, well, not currently, but was over the past few years, Miguel Cabrera. He's so dominant, but at the same time, he takes on more of the persona of the silent assassin.
He's actually one of the funniest players.
Well,
to
okay,
watch.
yeah, that's different.
He's hilarious on the field.
I'm talking about actually getting fired up and angry and But then
you only see it when he gets a wrong call. Yeah. You only see these guys get mad when the call's wrong. But
it's such a long game, Andrew. How can you get mad the whole game?
Football games are longer. Hockey games are probably the shortest sport. You know what sports games are too long? Basketball. Basketball games are longer than baseball games on average. Baseball is the
I thought it goes football or baseball 4 minutes
on that one.
But then I thought the average for basketball was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it is 2.5 hours for basketball.
Baseball is maybe 2 hours and 45.
No, baseball is 3 hours and 4, and then football
it's definitely
is 3
longer.
hours and 8.
I don't think so.
I literally just read this today.
Okay, whatever. But baseball's not the longest sport. It's not.
Either way,
it's about 4 minutes. On average, about 4 minutes shorter than an NFL game.
Bullshit. But anyway.
But
we digress.
I don't think the time of the game needs to be shortened. I think 3-hour game, fine, whatever. We see that with all sports. But the thing that I do think does need to be shortened in baseball is the season. I think it needs to come down from 162 to 150. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Have some more off days in there. Let these guys rest because the long ass season is fucking grueling and so hard. But it's part of the game. Yeah. It's a war of attrition. But I don't see the competition in baseball anymore.
Quick question before we move on. Yeah. In like the baseball leagues that you used to play in, how long are the seasons in those in like rec leagues and stuff like that?
When I played single A ball, college single A ball, summer league, when I was in 19 and 20, 18, 19, 20, the seasons were, I think we played 40 to 50 games, and we played 5 out of 7 nights. Mm-hmm. So when you're going on your 5th game in 7 days, you're literally dead. You're dead tired because you don't have that many reserves.
Like how many months did the season span? Like 3, 4?
3-ish, 3. Yeah, about 3 would be a good number. I'd
say.
They
as far as like coming up playing baseball, they bring you up
in long seasons. In college baseball, it's even longer. Yeah. And obviously in minor league baseball, it's long as shit. So it's just as long as a regular baseball season. So
anyway, moving on to movies.
Yeah, let's move on to some movies. So this is actually the last topic of the day. We moved through the second half of this pretty quickly, I thought. But go ahead, I'm gonna let you introduce this.
All right. So we've talked about Marvel and DC on the show quite a bit, and a few shows back we discussed our most anticipated overall movie for 2017, and we went as far as going to 2018 as well. But now we're narrowing this list down because we talked about some upcoming DC movies. We've talked about upcoming Marvel movies, but which of the upcoming Marvel and DC movies are you most looking forward to, and which you think will be the best? I'm gonna start with you, Alex.
Well, it depends. We gotta throw out some of the options here. We got Spider-Man: Homecoming coming out.
Mm-hmm. That's
Thor.
Thor is November.
Justice League.
Wonder Woman.
Aquaman. Aquaman's in 2018, I believe. Yep.
See, I kind of discredit DC, so we're just going to stick with Marvel because DC's been a crap. I think Wonder Woman will be the only one that is respectable out of all of those. But
is that just because of Gal Gadot?
No. I mean, absolutely not.
I'll be honest, be a little bit.
It's not going to hurt it. That's for sure.
No, God no.
but I think she's going to get her own movie. They're going to actually get some character development there, unlike the other, and maybe Aquaman.
Do they have character development for Wonder Woman though? I don't know. No,
I think so.
If they were trying to build her,
they're following.
If they were trying to do her character development in the Batman movie, then or Batman and Superman, they did a horrible job. Because if they're just going to take off from there as that's her character development, then they're fucked.
See, that's what I don't think so because they're basing it off. She's starting off where she came from in the Thermos era. It's an origin. It is an origin because she's starting. I know the comics because my mom actually has them, and it started out like she was basically she was in Thermosera, that's sort of like ancient land.
Is it an origin story then?
Yeah, and she's kicked out, and it's how she became like protector of the Earth. Or whatever.
Okay.
Well, one can only hope they actually develop her character. But she's a crucial aspect in Justice League. She's huge.
I think, but either way, I think the one I'm looking forward to because he's my favorite superhero is fucking Spider-Man. I'd like to see a reboot. I think they messed up hard with Andrew Garfield.
See, the problem I have with Spider-Man is the Spider-Man movies is they went a little too young with him. He reminds me of he just seems like that squirrely high school kid to me.
That's what he's supposed to be.
See, but that doesn't really fit Spider-Man to me. He needs to be a little bit less, but a little bit less squirrely.
Did you like Spider-Man in Civil War?
I loved it. I thought
I think he was different. A little bit less squirrely than he is.
See, I like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man,
but he wasn't the squirrely high school kid.
That's exactly. They were following more nerd type. This guy is more
a squirrely weird kid. A dorky kid.
That's what he is.
Remember.
It's exactly.
I think they need to. I think the story
fit. Peter Parker's in high
I understand,
school.
but he doesn't need to be the squirrely fucking weirdo kid that eats shit out of the garbage. That's what I see with this kid.
He was a photographer for a high school.
He's the kid
Those aren't exactly the jocks. Okay.
He's the type of kid who, if he sits in front of you, you put your feet on his chair and he kicks them off and rubs the legs of the chair. Who do we know like that, Andrew?
He took pictures for his high school and went on science trips.
I know some really cool kids that did that. They're not fucking squirrely. I know really cool kids who did shit like that. They're not squirrely and weird.
Squirrely's cool, dude.
His acting, the way he's gonna act is squirrely though. It's gonna be weird, and I'm not sure I like that route of Spider-Man. You could change it a little bit. I liked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but he wasn't squirrely. He was nerdy, which I liked.
So, I liked it, but like, there's nothing wrong.
So
with
you're most looking forward to Spider-Man? Why specifically? Just because he's your favorite superhero?
That, and I'd like to see how they remake it, because this is a different Spider-Man we've never seen before.
Yes, I am looking forward to that aspect. That it's
and not to mention that we've never seen it with like the Avengers.
Yes, the Avengers aspect is also
so is Tony Stark being there a huge factor for you?
Yeah,
it is a big factor for me also, because I think it's a way for them to introduce him into the Avengers group. It's a way for him to be introduced as a primetime superhero. In a way for Tony Stark to put his stamp on not just the character, but for Robert Downey Jr. to put his stamp on the actor and have him be a mentor as an actor.
Oh yeah.
And build that way, because Robert Downey Jr. has done a fantastic job.
Well, the character is a mentor for the character in the movie,
so that's why I would think the actor would be for the actor, because again, young actor. So Robert Downey Jr. has done a fantastic job as Iron Man, and if he can instill some of his wisdom and abilities into this young kid as an actor, I got nothing but high hopes for him.
Yeah.
So, and I really have no reason to disbelieve in Marvel, because they're fantastic.
Exactly. They've never.
And that's why I'm going way ahead.
And that's why I'm even more excited for the Spider-Man, because
I'm going way ahead of with my pick. I'm going way ahead of the Spider-Man movies. Going ahead of Thor Ragnarok. I'm going straight to Avengers Infinity War.
Well, I think it's all of our.
That movie is my most.
Okay. Let's exclude that one from this pick. And
why? That's my pick.
Because that would have been too easy. That's just like, you know.
Okay, then fine. I'll take that one.
Pick
off
one
the
DC,
book.
pick one Marvel, and then pick
Are they
your
doing
best
a Hawkeye movie?
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Check. I don't think so. Not that I
but
know of. Here.
Then I'm going to go with, the one I'm most intrigued about then is going to be...
Did you exit out of it?
I must have. The one I'm going to be most intrigued about
or is it
then...
Chrome?
It's Chrome. But the one I'm going to be most intrigued about then is Spider-Man, no doubt, because I do want to see the remake of it. And put their own story. Oh, they're making a new Ant-Man movie. So interesting.
Yep. And you're gonna see Giant Man in that one as well.
A Venom movie.
Yep. Remember we said it was gonna be a Venom horror style movie.
That's right.
From Sony.
We did, which I think is a fantastic idea for DC.
Which is why I think that Marvel won't be able to fully get the rights to Spider-Man from Sony after this deal's up. Because I think they're going to want to do something with Spider-Man and Venom.
You're right. I don't think they will either. But as we talked about it before, the thing that, that's one movie I'm actually really excited for, because I'm anticipating it. I don't have high hopes for it because it's DC, but I'm anticipating it because it's an aspect that allows DC to put themselves ahead of Marvel, because it's villains that make DC. Their villains are so much more well known than Marvel's villains, because Marvel doesn't have good villains. DC does, and to have if you have a blockbuster film with Venom and hit that with the nail on the head, then you are starting something and starting a trend that is going to help them so much.
The only issue is Sony owns the right to Venom and not Marvel Studios.
Right. Well, Venom would be DC.
No, Venom is Marvel.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Venom is in the Spider-Man universe.
You're right. So wait. I just confused myself entirely then. So that is one that I'm actually looking forward to, because, again, if Marvel is able to create a great movie and make the villain a big-time villain, that is what is going to kind of take away from what the one trump card I think that DC has.
But again, it's all nullified if Marvel can't get the rights to them.
Right. So, but the movie, the one movie I'm actually looking forward to outside of the Spider-Man movie, which again, the one I'm most intrigued by is outside of Avengers Infinity War, is Thor Ragnarok. I mean, that one's a movie that is, Thor is one of my favorite superheroes. He's a god, but one of my favorites, and the preview for it was really good. The trailer was awesome. I liked it a lot. Looks like it'll be a good struggle. Justice League's one that I'm intrigued about. I don't have high hopes though, because I have not.
So what's your favorite DC?
Very low.
What's the best DC movie that's coming out?
Let me do my Marvel one first.
Yeah, do his.
Okay.
I agree with you. Thor Ragnarok's what I'm most looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing Thor and the Hulk go head to head.
Yes, that's gonna be. That was the one part that I really liked.
Who wins?
And I'm really excited since the Planet Hulk shit. I want to see how Doctor Strange falls in the mix.
Oh, true.
But no, I think it's gonna rival. I definitely think it's gonna rival Civil War. I think I'm expecting to be as good, if not better, than Civil War. I was a huge fan of Civil War.
I think it's not gonna come up to Civil
Now,
War.
if we were going DC movie that I'm most excited about,
I already have mine for But anyway,
I already said mine.
Just for the sake of not picking the same movie as you, I'm gonna give you Thor Ragnarok. I'm gonna go Black Panther.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That is a good one.
I was a huge fan of Black Panther in Civil War. I didn't know much about him going into it. Yeah. And
he's one of the lesser known. He's one of the lesser known ones.
And naturally, because I didn't know much about his character, I don't know much about Wakanda, so I'm really interested to see. I'm interested to see Wakanda in general. I don't know anything about it.
That is another one that's one that I'm also really intrigued about because again, he's one of the lesser known ones. There's a lot of room for Marvel to work with that one. So
I think it's definitely
he's got a cool costume and he does cool moves.
Yeah, not only is it be a great super movie, I think it'll be a great action movie in general.
Agreed, and you may see because of the moves that he does, you may see an homage to your great kung fu movies. I mean, your Jackie Chan, your Bruce Lee type movies.
I don't think he's gonna go quite Jackie Chan.
I know, okay, Bruce Lee. You might see some kind of like an ode to stuff like that, which I think will be really cool because Bruce Lee is fucking awesome. But the DC movie I have the highest hopes for, Wonder Woman.
Wow. Okay.
I really
I thought you were gonna go.
I think that I have really high hopes for Wonder Woman. Granted, Batman is another pick, but I've seen so much go wrong for the Batman movies in so recent times that I've lost just about all hope for it. The only hope I have left is Ben Affleck, and he's about gone.
Alex, is that you too, Wonder Woman?
That's what's mine.
I'm separating from both of you. I'm going Aquaman.
Really?
I'm going Aquaman.
I just think he's such a weak superhero.
I think you're forgetting who's directing this movie.
James Wan, very true. You're right. Okay, I think the movie. Okay, here's my standpoint on that. If James Wan directing, I think the movie and the cinematography and everything, the movie itself and the action scenes are going to be fucking fantastic. I still think the character in itself is going to be weak. I think the character development. I think James Wan is going to.
Judging from what I saw in the trailers, I think that they're going with more comedic Aquaman, and I think it could actually end up working.
Okay, but then they're going a completely different route from what they're supposed to do.
Because but let's be honest here, if you're gonna have an Aquaman movie where it's where they take themselves way too seriously, I think you're gonna take the audience out of it.
I agree with you. However,
that's
going completely the opposite route of the way that they've done the other heroes, which is a big problem because you're.
I think they're definitely forcing that because of the complaints of how everything's too dark.
Absolutely,
and it's really you could from actually just my take.
However, another big problem is how does James Wan do with comedy?
I don't know, but from my take, from what we saw in the Justice League trailer, it doesn't fit with Zack Snyder's directing style. Everything is so dark and gloomy, and then you got Batman and Aquaman cracking jokes. So
Batman, I still think they're going kind of dark with.
Well, he was cracking jokes.
I know, but I still think they're going kind of dark with. But Wonder Woman's extremely dark. I mean, that's the problem I have with Aquaman being more. That's the one problem I have with Aquaman being more of a comedic character is it doesn't fit with DC. It doesn't fit with what they're going for here. The problem I'm going to have with Aquaman, though, is if they do have a fan... Say James Wan just directs the... I think James Wan could direct the shit out of this movie.
He will direct the shit out of it.
I think he will, and I think he will develop the character well. I think he's going to have great action scenes, great script, great writing, because he's not going to allow a bad script to go through unless DC makes it happen. But it's going to be a good movie. But I still think because of the superhero as it is, I think Aquaman's still going to be a weak character. I don't think he's a good hero. I think it's a bad choice to have him be a big part of the Justice League. Granted, you have to.
He is a big part.
He is a big part. You have to, but he's a bad hero. He is. He's weak.
But another draw for me with Aquaman is I absolutely love the cast they put together. You got Nicole. You got Nicole Kidman.
Right.
You have
the
Nicole
stars.
Kidman
okay,
coming
you
back?
have yes.
You have Nicole Kidman. You got Patrick Wilson, who has a really good repertoire.
You have all the stars aligning to be a good movie. You just don't have the building blocks of a good character. That's my problem.
Mike K. Williams, you got Willem Dafoe.
Yes. Again,
I don't agree with putting Dolph Lundgren as a bad guy. I don't like him as an actor.
No, but you have all the stars aligning to make a good movie. You just don't have the building blocks of a good character.
By the way, going back to the Venom talk real quick, they asked Russ about his historic 51-10-13 line tonight. He said, and I quote, "I don't give a fuck. We lost."
Thank you. Agreed. But I just think Aquaman's just a bad hero. I think he'll be outshadowed. I don't think he fits. He's always been the one Justice League hero that just doesn't work for me. And maybe that's bias because I know some people like Aquaman. I don't see how he fits because 99% of these fights are fought on land. By the way, Where's Aquaman? In the water.
But
let's come over here and get in here and fight me. Fight in the water with me. Yeah, it doesn't work for me.
Real quick, I just want to touch on Avengers Infinity War. How insane is that movie going to be?
Fucking
very insane. I still have no idea how they're going to do it. All I know is that all I know is Vision is about to die.
If this movie has less than a $500 million budget, I'm disappointed.
It's more than that.
Thank you. Isn't it like almost $1 billion? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. It's going to be unreal.
But actually, I think it's for the 2 movies. So
they're making 2, part 1 and 2.
There was going to be part 1 and part 2. Now doing.
Regardless, that's still about a half. That's still about a $500 million for each movie. I would sit 5 hours straight to watch that. That's still about a $500 million for each movie. That's awesome. That's perfect. I want it.
But a little detail that actually came out today is apparently in the movie.
This is Fast and Furious.
We're going to see the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy not teaming at odds, actually, apparently. They're going to be at odds with each other. They're not going to like each other. I don't know if they're going to be working together, but they're not going to be...
Refresh my memory. Is Guardians of the Galaxy going to be in the Avengers Infinity War?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They have to. They have the cue.
That's true. Okay. That's very interesting because that's 2 very...
so you're gonna see
differing styles of characters in movies. I don't know how that's going to play out. I'm not sure I'm going to like that aspect, but I think the movie itself is going to be fucking unreal. I think the action scenes are going to be like things that we've never seen. This may be the birth of a new generation of movie. Yeah. It may go that far with the amount of
do you understand
money
how
put
hard
into
it is going to be just to find like a seat in a theater to go watch this movie?
My God. Oh my God! This may bring out a new generation, a new breed of movie.
This movie will break records.
It totally will, because I really do think it could breed a new style of movie, a new genre, the ultra action. It may force other franchises and other production companies to throw a shit ton of money at their movies just to compete. So you may start seeing, this may be the beginning of billion-dollar movies. Yeah. And not saying that that's fucking stupid because holy shit, that's an unreal number, but still.
Here's the issue though with...
Do you think they make that money back? The billion... Say they spend $1 billion on this movie, think they make it back?
I just said they'd be breaking records. Yes, they'll make that money back.
Has a movie ever made $1 billion?
Yes.
What?
Actually, just recently, Beauty and the Beast made $1 billion.
What?
$1 billion?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion?
Then
they're easily going to break it.
The highest movie is $2.8 billion with Avatar.
Then they're easily going to break it. If Avatar got it, Andrew, oh my God,
Star Wars made $2 billion.
Avatar was one of the best movies in the history.
I didn't know they made $2 billion. I didn't know movies made millions.
Yeah.
Avatar.
Let's go in the movie.
Avatar was a special effects spectacle.
Which he has not seen.
If Iron Man 3
just based off
made $1.2 billion,
I like to make a bet on the air. I like to make it on the bear with Andrew. Have you seen Avatar?
Yes.
Okay. If
the first Avengers made 1.5. $1.5 billion. Well, the Avengers made... Okay, yeah, this movie will hit $2 billion.
Yeah, it's easy.
See, look at 21. Beauty and the Beast. 1 point...
Hey, if the Bulls beat the Celtics, you're watching Avatar, Andrew. It's on air.
So there's been 29 movies make $1 billion.
Shake on it.
Shake on it. Why don't you want to see Avatar?
It's 3 hours.
We're talking not The Last Airbender. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, the blue. Yeah. Okay.
For me to sit down for a 3-hour movie...
He doesn't want to watch one of the best grossing movies.
Andrew, I'm not gonna lie.
To be invested. It's gotta be a movie that I can be invested in. A story that I can be invested in.
It's a story you will get invested in.
It's Pocahontas the Blue People.
No.
Yes.
So different. I promise you.
Now I'm questioning you've seen the movie.
Andrew,
because even Alex has admitted it's Pocahontas the Blue People.
Okay, but Alex says The Revenant wasn't good. You really trust his argument for movies? I will honestly, 100% honest with you, Avatar is one of the greatest pieces of film work I have ever watched.
Film work, yes.
One of the greatest stories in movies and pieces of film work I have ever seen.
Is Pocahontas one of the greatest stories you've ever seen?
It's a fantastic story, yes. Again, though, beside the point, it is even if the story wasn't as good as it is, the cinematography in film work alone is worth the 3 hours. Alone.
I just said it. Avatar was a landmark in special effects.
Oh my God! Not just a landmark.
You haven't watched it. You don't know.
The fact that you're talking about a movie that was released in 2009 still holds the record for highest grossing movie ever by over $600 million tells you how fantastic of a movie that was. And the fact that you haven't seen it is a goddamn crime. Go to jail. Get off my stage. No.
The real crime is where's the Dark Knight?
It's
way down at the bottom.
Down.
Oh no.
The Dark Knight Rises is so high.
The Dark Knight Rises is higher than the Dark Knight.
The reason is because it's following one of the greatest superhero movies in history. That's why. That's the only reason people went to that movie.
What?
And that's also why Fast 8 made
Pirates of the
as much
Caribbean,
money as it did, because it's following a fantastic movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean, my God.
But yeah. So do you guys have anything else to add?
Not really. I mean, again, though, I think you're going to see continued dominance by Marvel over DC. I really don't have high hopes for DC. I'm really intrigued by a couple of their movies. But I'm genuinely more excited about Marvel's movies coming out just because they are the better company right now. They have shown that they put out the better product, and there's no reason to believe otherwise. Anything other than that happening in the future.
Well,
I think that Avengers: Infinity War will seriously fucking blow the tailpipe off of Justice League. I don't think Justice League has a fucking chance to come close to what Infinity War is going to do.
Will it set the record?
Yes.
Avengers: Infinity War?
Yes. Yes.
Possibly. If not, it's going to be damn close.
Okay.
I think you're underestimating that number. That $2.8 billion that Avatar. Remember, it's over $600 million higher than any other movie in history. And the next closest movie, Titanic. You're talking about arguably the greatest movie in the history of movies.
I mean,
one of the greatest masterpieces.
I mean, the other factor limiting it from getting there is the fan base. How many actually compared to like Titanic, which it doesn't really
see. But Avatar didn't have a fan base.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So,
which is another reason why it's that incredible. It's which that just goes to show what James Cameron is as a director, though. The top 2 grossing movies of all time are both his. Yeah. But I think no question, it goes top 5, no question. I think it goes top 3.
Now let me close out with this. I've already asked you this question. I want to ask Alex since we have him here.
I do think it beats Star Wars.
If Wonder Woman flops, does DC blow it all up?
No, they're not going to blow it up. They're
going
to make money off everything.
Should they blow it all up?
Should they blow it up?
They lost, but they won't though. They lost money on Batman vs Superman.
That wasn't the question. They should blow it up, but they won't because they want to make money. That's the thing.
But they're not. But they're losing money.
I don't think they lost money on Batman vs Superman.
They didn't make very much. It was a huge flop in the.
They didn't make as much as they wanted to. I think
it was a big flop. But they will lose money if they continue to flop. Yeah. First off, because the amount of money they put into this. Second off,
I mean, if
they should blow it up, but they won't. And the reason is because of the amount of money that they've already put into what they've got coming forward. For them to go out and basically go at a loss and say that we're ending this project as it is such a loss of money. It is such a loss of credibility. We'll never see another DC movie come back for at least 10, 15, 20 years.
By the way, just quick reference, Batman vs Superman had a $250 million budget, grossed $860 million.
That's not very much for what they were expecting.
They tripled their budget.
That's still not anywhere near what they were expecting to make that.
Well, yeah, if they didn't fuck it up, you should have had $1 billion.
Absolutely. You're talking to the biggest
Batman and Superman
exactly.
duking it out.
That was 90% probably in the first 2 weekends. After that, people stopped seeing it because they realized it sucked. But
actually, the
Shrek 2 is in that list.
Shrek 2 was awesome.
Of that
almost $1 billion.
Of that $850 million, 500 and some odd million was from foreign markets.
Wow. That actually kind of surprised me a little bit. Yeah. Oh, it's actually 50th on the list of all-time grossing movies.
It cracked the top 50.
It did.
So did Ice Age, Continental Drift, and Secret
Life. It was right behind Secret Life of Pets. Lofty goals.
Anyway, so should we close out?
Honestly, that just kind of goes to show movies nowadays, though, the amount of money put into them, the amount of money put into the film industry, because there's a lot of recent movies. I mean, the outside of how many movies? Let's count how many movies are from not before 2001.
I think we're going into way too much detail here. It's
2, 3, barely. Really?
When that first came out,
The Lion King, you can't beat that. Good plug.
You do understand when that.
So 4 movies in the top 50.
You understand when Phantom Menace first came out, people were like in denial that it sucked.
I saw it like the first weekend with my dad, but
so did I. And
4 movies in the top 50 grossing movies of all time are in this list, or before 2000, the year 2004.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't tell you how much of an effect money has on movies nowadays. So then I wonder
if this is adjusted for inflation.
Yes, it is. It is adjusted for inflation.
Otherwise, Titanic
wouldn't be there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, Titanic wouldn't be anywhere near almost $2.2 billion. Yes, it's adjusted for inflation. Because if it wasn't adjusted for inflation, this would literally be like $7 billion or $6 billion. It would be some stupid ass high number. From 97 to today, the inflation amount, fuck yeah, it at almost double, I'd say.
Let's find this out real quick. Last thing we're gonna do. Titanic gross adjusted for inflation.
Okay, this is wrong. Because $1.7 billion is not the highest.
If you're adjusting for inflation, that's what they're saying.
Going back in time?
So Avatar would be $841,000.
But that doesn't make any sense. Going back in time?
I don't trust a place called Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, I'm not going to trust that. Because I don't think maybe the first weekend.
Here you go. We'll do the next one.
Worldwide inflation. Okay. Okay, Gone with the Wind is number 1. So Titanic would be 2.8.
So yeah, they were okay. I see what they were doing.
Yeah, so they were going back in time.
They just reverse adjusted.
Yeah, so Gone with the Wind. That's really kind of granted they've had like 100 years to grow.
Still, that was a huge movie when it came out.
Oh fuck yeah, it was a 7-hour long saga. But Titanic, Avatar. So still, Avatar's way up there. Mm-hmm. Which Star Wars movie? That's my question.
The first one.
The first one. Star Wars.
1977. That's the first one.
Snow White. Sound of Music doesn't surprise me. Jaws. That actually kind of surprises me. Star Wars: Force Awakens. Really? Mm-hmm. A new entry in there.
E.T. and The Exorcist round out your top 10.
Mm-hmm. What's 50?
Spider-Man, yeah.
I don't see Batman vs Superman.
No, it would not be there.
I know.
Captain America vs. Civil War cracked the top 50. Oh yeah,
yes, it did.
That's probably the most recent entry there, then.
Yeah. I would imagine so. What's the asterisk for? Since reports for U.S. earnings can vary slightly, less than 1% usually depending on the source, all U.S. earnings are taken from Box Office Mojo. Great.
Anyway.
But
well, that brings us full circle. Anyway.
But anyways,
that's about what we got.
If DC fucks this up again, they need to blow it up, but they won't because they've already put too much money into this. So you're going to continue to see mediocrity coming from them. Big letdown. But that's about it for tonight. Good long show. Mm-hmm. Not as long as I thought, but good long show. So again, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm Nick.
I'm Alex.
Andrew, and that's Alex out of turn. But again, thank you Alex for coming out and hanging out with us tonight and talking some playoff stuff and talking about some other shit. Again, guys, if you like what you saw, please feel free to hit the follow button below. This will be up on YouTube shortly. Also, again, follow us on Facebook at Real Fan Report. Also, hit us up on Twitter at Real Fan Report as well. And suggest some topics, whatever you guys want to do. Just hit us up, whatever. Hit us a follow, hit us whatever. So thank you guys again so much. This has been the Fan Report where it's by fans.
For fans.
As always, thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Peace out. Oh, and thank you for the follows.
This is Fast and Furious!
Peace out, guys.